today and filled with memories for tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge, and so many more. Plus a boot-scootin' line dance saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Live with your Sactown Sports Headlines. Sacramento Kings came up short to the Phoenix Suns yesterday, 120-109. Fox led the game in scoring with 35 points, but Phoenix had some huge performances, with Devin Booker scoring 32. Ayton had 29 points and 11 rebounds, and Chris Paul had a monster double-double with 17 points and 19 assists. Kings are off for the All-Star break. They'll be back in action Thursday, February 23rd, when they host the Portland Trail Blazers. Jaguars wide receiver Calvin Ridley applied to the NFL for reinstatement today after he was suspended indefinitely for betting on NFL games while a member of the Atlanta Falcons. Ridley did not play at all during the 2022 season, and today was the first day he could apply for reinstatement. It is 11:01. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. And now it's time for Deuce and Mo.
live from Sacramento
It's Deuce and Mo.
on Sactown Sports.
We are live! So good to have Morgan Reagan back in studio today. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports. Yeah, Chris Verlide too. Happy All-Star break. Welcome back.
Happy All-Star break. It's great to be back in studio, baby.
What was that?
Whatever. Who cares? Why can't I just do whatever the hell I want?
No, you absolutely can, but I can react however the hell I want.
And what was that reaction about?
It was just a weird, like, I'm back in the studio, baby. Okay, what was it?
Wait. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just appreciate my energy?
A little corny.
What are you? What are you? What do you define yourself as?
Trendy.
Oh.
Excited. Engaging. Entertaining. Corny is not even close to me.
Deuce, are you saying you're the definition of Riz?
I definitely am Riz.
Okay, if you're going to try and use a Gen Zer term, use it cool.
That's the cool thing about Gen Z. We can define it how we want to.
Okay.
So I am the Riz. I am the charisma. That's fine to say.
No, I've got the Riz. You got to have some swag with it.
Okay.
God, you're so...
Okay, spoken like a true millennial. Hey, welcome in. Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan. We are on 11 to 2 p.m. and we got a jam-packed show. The All-Star break is here, but there's still a lot to go over, and we have to take a look at the big picture of the NBA.
Yeah?
So many big stories. I want to know today, we're going to be talking about best story in the league. best story with the Kings.
Uh-huh.
Biggest disappointment maybe in the league and with the Kings. We could talk about that.
I like that. I like that.
Coach of the year so far, exec of the year, MVP. We're going to have an NBA extravaganza today on the show.
Down with it.
Yeah. I appreciate everyone being here too, hanging out with us. If you're at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140, hit that thumbs up because all it does is help this channel grow so more and more people know what we got going on here at Sactown Sports. Morgan, the All-Star break is here. Before we got there, the Kings had one last game. They lose in Phoenix last night to the Suns in a tough game, 120-109. De'Aaron Fox, a 35-point game. He had some big moments, hit 4 threes in the game, but the Suns were far too much for Sacramento. And you really saw some of their weaknesses on full display against a really good Suns team.
That's it. And I think sometimes people, I know going into it, we're like, they don't have KD. So, what are you going to do? And they didn't have KD before either, right? Like they still have a good team, whether their culture has been up and down from last season into this season. They have good players. They have a good system. They have a good coach. And last night you saw the way that it was coming together. And I love what De'Aaron Fox was doing, but you're exactly right. Seeing some of those flaws, especially on the defensive end, points in the paint, it was killer.
Ayton destroyed them in that game. DeAndre Ayton is playing the best basketball of his career right now.
Yeah.
And the year didn't start off great for him, but he had a big time impact. And I thought, we know the Kings did not defend him well. But on the other end, I thought he really impacted things with his length. And if we take a look at the Kings, this is who they struggle against, teams with length. It's crazy too, because it's not like DeAndre Ayton is some elite shot blocker. In fact, he doesn't even block one shot per game this season in the NBA. But the difference is he's got this 7'6" wingspan, and the Kings, for whatever reason, let that get in their head, I think, too much when they got to attack more. This guy's not blocking a ton of shots. Now, he does well. It's not just about blocking shots, as we know. It's about contesting at the rim. He could do that. But, man, you don't be afraid of this guy.
That's it.
And I felt like offensively, they weren't attacking enough because they were thinking, this guy's long.
Yeah. And we know how they've struggled with length throughout this entire season. And last night, you look at his length and how he utilized it. 2 blocks, 4 steals, hands in the passing lane, hands straight up. I mean, he was just everywhere defensively, right? And so you talk about the Kings trying to score in the paint. They ended up with 40 points in the paint, where it was just tough for them to get things going. They started getting things going more in the second half, realizing, okay, we got to go into this guy. I think they've had the same struggle with some other bigs that they have played before. Rudy Gobert,
but
when they had that back-to-back game.
He has a reputation of being an elite shot blocker. Ayton does not.
But my point is even that length is what was disrupting the way that they were, we can go into him. So they started doing that a little bit more in the second half going downhill, but still DeAndre Ayton stepped up and was doing just a fantastic job defensively.
And then defensively, there are too many breakdowns. The Suns play with such great pace. I could tell they were feeling themselves a little bit. I don't know if it's this like, hey, post Kevin Durant trade, we got him. He's in the building tonight. Devin Booker is feeling good. His first home game back, but it just felt like everyone was kind of firing on all cylinders, right?
Yeah.
Like Chris Paul, who had been struggling, started to knock down some shots. The guy had 19 assists last night. It was incredible, but they were getting the paint touches and they were getting by their guy, getting in the paint, kicking it out, and all of a sudden the defense is scrambling. I thought the Kings also got destroyed in the pick and roll. Sabonis had a really rough night defensively, and for as big as Sabonis is, we talk about wingspans. He's not exactly a long guy. I think his wingspan is 6'11", so he's not super long. And when you've got DeAndre Ayton, who can get you on the short roll, can get you in the pick and roll, can hit that mid-range shot.
Oof.
When that mid-range is falling, it's tough to defend because it's it's really
his
high
release.
up there. The release is so high up there.
Yep.
That even when Sabonis is contesting, it doesn't really do much.
And it's a pretty shot. It has finesse on it, so for a big that can step back and get that going, he just looked inspired last night, right? He was playing with so much more energy than you have seen him. And I think that
that's been the rap on him.
And it totally.
We're talking about Ayton, right?
Yes. And I think that inspiration, like we were just talking about with KD in the building, with that trade there, it's like he's feeling a different sort of way about this Suns team, this organization. I mean, especially, you have a GM that is willing to do so much more and make so many other moves to make this team a true contender in the Western Conference. How could that not put you in a good mood?
DeAndre Ayton comes across to me. Of course, I don't know him.
Yep.
But
you don't?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he's one of the connect, but I just haven't had the
One
time.
of the few.
Yeah.
One of the
few. When he's feeling good about his offensive game, everything else is better. He's a grumpy guy. Like just watching him when he's not engaged offensively, when he's maybe not getting the touches he believes he should get, maybe not getting the offensive production that he wants, it impacts the rest of his game in a negative way. Last night, he felt he got in the good offensive groove, was able to score on Sabonis, was knocking down the mid-range shot. That all of a sudden, the rest of his game, he's super engaged. Will Z in our chat right now, shout out to Will Z. Amazing stats he drops on Twitter all the time. Noted that Ayton had 7 deflections last night. That's just great. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that just shows his level of engagement. So, yeah, he was a problem last night for the Sacramento Kings. I thought Sabonis worked him on the other end a lot too. And Sabonis was getting so much attention last night, which again makes life more challenging. Sabonis has to deal with DeAndre Ayton, who's in this offensive groove. And then on the other end, he's got to deal with Ayton and whatever else the Suns are throwing at him. The Suns play with physicality. And I think that's the greatest lesson for this Kings team as they're trying to start this journey of being a playoff team and maybe be a playoff team for years to come is you have to understand that these teams who have been in the playoffs, Memphis, Denver, Golden State, Phoenix, they know how to play tough.
Yep.
They're going to beat you up because they know what it takes to make these deep runs. You've got to find a way to muster it and match that physicality and not buckle down. I'm not saying they buckled down. Last night the Kings were competitive, but you could tell that Phoenix is just far more physical than Sacramento.
Yeah, and I feel like there have been games where even that second game against the Mavs on Saturday night where they pushed through everything mentally, physically. They found a way to be the team that was going to outlast the Mavs. And I think with a game like last night, it's not that I would ever even question effort or anything in a game like last night. But at the same time, when you look at those moments of just like battling through someone or going at someone's body and trying to go through them instead of being like, hey, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of presence in the paint, let me just try and work on our outside game. Luckily, the outside game was working for the Sacramento Kings last night, which it hasn't been the last couple. So seeing some of those shots fall from the outside, I'm sure gave them some confidence, but I also didn't want them to start settling. When it got there toward the end of the game, like 4 minutes left maybe, it was, yo, if you want to start winning this game, you got to start taking some of those outside shots.
And they were sloppy last night.
Yeah.
I mean, was it 17 turnovers turned into 25 points, something
Correct.
like that? That's bad. You know, you're not going to win games like that on the road when you turn the ball over that much. And I thought Mike Brown noted something post-game that was crazy. The Suns had 8 offensive rebounds that turned into 20 second chance points. That's an insanely high number. They were 8 of 10 on second chance points. Jim in the YouTube chat, appreciate you guys in the YouTube chat. We read the comments during the show. So if you guys got topics, questions, things you want to say, you could do it there or on the phones. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Jim says the Kings guards can't stay in front of anybody, and then it's downhill, roll to the paint, leaving our big screwed. Is this a lack of length, lack of athleticism, or lack of understanding?
Great question.
Can we just say all of the above in some ways? Because I think the understanding is getting better, but like last night, I think putting Kevin Hurt, not that the Kings have like the best options to put on a guy like Devin Booker, who's an all NBA talent, but Kevin Herter was getting blown by Booker every time.
And he's a guy with a high IQ defender, gets hands in the passing lanes.
And he had some nice deflections from behind at 3 blocks.
Sure, had one stripped and off of Devin Booker's thigh. But at the same time, just because you're a high IQ player, like going back to that question on our YouTube chat, it's the other things. It's about physically having that one extra step through over the screen, or getting through, or having someone stunt the guy with the ball, so then your recovery is faster. That is where, yes, different personnel and learning how to fight through those moments at a higher level are really going to need to take place.
We'll get more on this game coming up. We got so much to get to NBA-wise. A couple of NFL stories, too, that are interesting. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the radio side. This is Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports. Hey, YouTube chat. All right, we're at 45 thumbs up. Not a great pace. I'm sorry, I didn't realize they were on the All-Star break, Morgan. Oh.
Hey, everybody.
Morgan's doing an IG, so she can't answer me.
No, I can't answer you.
I
was just doing that too, and letting Thank you. Oh my God, this is not good. Anyway, join the show. Here's the link. Bye.
Hit the thumbs up button if you're in the YouTube chat, and it looks like Sactown Sports is closing in on 6,000 subs.
Huh?
What? What does that mean?
Huh? That's all we should do every time.
If you're saying it's because
no, don't say the words. Just let it go. Huh?
I was just gonna say, if you're saying it's because of us.
No, I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
Why are you saying that?
I didn't know what you're going with.
Maybe I'm going there. This is fun. This is fun.
And just a heads up to you guys too. We are going to be off on Friday and Monday this week. Friday and Monday this week.
Yeah.
Stand by.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Here's a Kogi in the far corner. A pass deflected by Davis, grabbed by Paul. Down to 4 on the possession. Paul going to go for the long rainbow 2. He scores it on the right wing. It's 118-109. And Phoenix is on the threshold of closing the gap on the Kings in the Western Conference.
That Suns team is legit. They don't have Kevin Durant yet. They are pushing in the Western Conference, trying to get back and past the Sacramento Kings. These two teams still play 2 more times this year.
Scary times ahead. No. For everyone that's taking on this Sun squad. I think when you think about the addition of Kevin Durant, and we can take a step back and go, oh, you never know how it's going to work. You see what this product is, where Chris Paul has altered his role as a point guard in this league, where Devin Booker has taken this leap in his game with Kobe-esque like mid-range game, with that footwork where he releases, gets to his spots. You add Kevin Durant in that mix, you're never talking heavy ball dominant. Like, he's a guy that will also get his, but knows how to utilize his teammates as well. And on top of that, Deuce, we were talking about this last night. I mean, you got a guy like TJ Warren coming off the bench. You got a Kogi. I mean, there's other pieces to this squad.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that some people have brought up. It's like, oh, do the Suns have the depth? Look, they've got KD now, Booker, Paul, Ayton. That's legit.
Mm-hmm.
I think Torrey Craig is a nice vet who's been on winning teams. Can you get Cameron Payne back and healthy and contributing like he did a couple of years ago? That would be significant. Shaman's been dealing with a foot thing that's kind of been lingering. I like TJ Warren. I think they have a legit squad. I mean, obviously everything is based on health when you talk about some of these teams near the top. But if healthy, it looks disgusting. Devin Booker is legit. I was curious to get your thoughts on this, and people in the chat too. Does the Suns situation give you even more hope for the Kings? Because not that they have been like perfect, especially last year. They had the abysmal finish to the season where they lost Game 7 to Dallas, right? But they won 60 games. And I think some people are forgetting how good Phoenix was the last couple of years. They've been really good.
Okay.
Maybe Durant's that missing piece. But my point is, pre-bubble, when we had the shutdown, people were like, why are they being invited to the bubble? And remember, they went undefeated in the bubble, didn't make the playoffs. And it was the start. Okay, well, this might be the next year. They land Chris Paul. It changes everything, right? They make it to the NBA Finals. They lose to the Bucks.
Even that was, why is Chris Paul going there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But Devin Booker had something last night. He was asked about Kevin Durant, and he said, we were probably the laughing stock of the NBA about 4 or 5 years ago, and just turning it around to something serious, to championship contenders, is a quick turnaround for us. So we take a lot of pride in what we've built here. For us to be a destination that Kev wanted to come to is a big sign of that, to show respect of what we've done so far. We still have more to do, but we're moving in the right direction. I mean, they were the laughing stock. People were crapping on Devin Booker. How good is he? I mean, I questioned it sometimes, like, is he that good? I mean, they can't win.
Sure.
And what do you know? You had Chris Paul, Monty Williams. The front office looks legit, right?
Different
and they had
structure.
And now Kevin Durant wanting to go there. Like, again, if you went back 4 years, people are like, this is just as bad as Sacramento.
Wild. And that's why, too, I think when you do look at just the individual of Devin Booker and the leap he's taken in his game and the tier of player he is now in the NBA, it's night and day. And if you want to compare it, and again, people get so scared when you compare any players or anyone. I'm not comparing games. I'm not comparing careers. I'm just comparing.
Just say it, coward.
The concept. And thank you. The concept of De'Aaron Fox taking that leap and headed toward a different tier
That's
of
not
point
bad
guard.
to say. I mean,
It's
I think
not,
you've seen it.
But Deuce, people in Sacramento are like, yeah, but I need to see it translate into one winning season before I believe. And I'm totally with that. It's been 16 years, right? And it's like, how many times do we see De'Aaron Fox have those flashes? It's not translated into these big years. Finally, this year, what happens? Just like we talked about with the Suns, you got a new coach setting a different standard. You have a front office that is understanding and believing what the right type of basketball is. You add Sabonis, a two-time, not three-time All-Star.
Think about that.
What?
Mike Brown is Monty Williams. De'Aaron Fox is Devin Booker. Sabonis is Sacramento's Chris Paul.
Yes.
Who's the Kings? Kevin Durant. Katie says, so what you're saying is that next year we're landing Jaylen Brown, and in 3 years Giannis is coming to Sacramento, and then the Kings are winning 15 titles.
Save this audio for when it happens.
I mean, it does go to show you, like, you can change your culture if you do make the right moves, right? And it's the right coach, it's the right players around, and so I don't know. It's just interesting. It's crazy how far the Suns have come, and it's not like they've not experienced pain. Losing sucks. And the way they lost last year, even going into this season, I was out on the Suns.
Yeah.
Because you had DeAndre Ayton going at it with Monty Williams in a playoff game. They just fold into game 7. Jay Crowder doesn't want to be there. Their owner, Robert Sarver, is a D-bag, right? Like, there are so many things going up against them. Now they've got a new owner. I don't know if he's a good guy or not, but they were able to land Kevin Durant at the trade deadline and make a very significant move.
Land Kevin Durant without getting rid of their core. I mean,
Bridge has been really good.
Wait, what?
Bridge has been really good. But
But the core, like, it still doesn't matter. Like,
I think he was part of the core, but you have to sacrifice an element of the core to get better.
Let's be real. Like, when you think of core, though, you do think of like big threes and dynamic duos, and that's where Booker and Ayton and Chris Paul come in, right? And Bridges is absolutely a great player in this league. I'm even saying great player. I think his value at his position as a long, lengthy dude that not only can create on the offensive end but play defense and is a smart player, like a great player in this league. Absolutely. But at the same time, you were going to have to get rid of something good. You didn't have to really screw up the whole core.
Pain, by the way, in the chest. I don't like this comparison.
Oh, sorry.
It's not so much that you want to be the Suns 2.0. I think my larger point is you had an organization that was in pure chaos, dysfunction, couldn't win at all. They were missing draft picks left and right, big playoff drought, and they were quickly able to turn this around. And the Kings look like they might be headed in a direction where they're turning this around. It doesn't mean it has to follow the Suns' blueprint. It's just more like, hey, it's kind of crazy what happens when you hire like good people and like establish a culture.
Basketball minds.
Yeah. Right.
And then on top of that, if you could go two different ways, which I've said it, you could go the Suns way where you build on something to where you are a contender year after year.
Yeah.
Or you could be the Timberwolves who made that run to the playoffs and then were crappy for a bit. Then made it to the play-in And they're just like, ugh, are
And
they even
that's-
getting back?
And now they may not even get there this year.
And that's what's wild about that strategy for some teams is that how many times did people want that here in Sacramento?
Oh, yeah.
Like, just push and get to the playoffs. Just get Rondo, get Rudy Gay, and push and get to the playoffs. And it's like, that's not sustainable. Sustainable. Yeah,
When you looked at me, you knew that was going to be a drop
I
immediately.
I did.
Monty McNair would like that because he's always preaching about like, hey, we got to be sustainable.
Let's get sustainable. Sustainable. Do you like that?
No, that one
Okay.
is a swing and a
That's
miss.
a force.
No, you forced it. That was a Buddy Hield shot.
Oh,
You missed it.
well, keep shooting.
We'll talk some more Kings coming up. We got to get to some NBA awards throughout the show. If you have any of you want to give out some awards too. What's the best story in the NBA? I put this out on our Discord earlier. Everyone was like, oh, it's the Beam Team. It's Sacramento. I know we're in Sacramento, but legitimately, if we could try to pull ourselves out of Sacramento, are the Kings the best story in the NBA at the All-Star break? Think about that.
I'll think about
We'll
it.
talk about it next on Sactown Sports. No laughing, Morgan.
Sorry, I was just really quick going to my Instagram to see if the story posted, and I follow like a lot of science different accounts, and this one says it was dead birds made into drones could be used to spy on animals or humans.
Are you following science or
Yeah.
InfoWars? Because this sounds
New
like
scientist. No, look at this.
Oh, it's an Alex Jones. You see those dead birds flying? I don't have an Alex Jones.
They're turning birds into drones, people.
Birds are not real.
Well, that's true. Birds are not real. That is one of the funniest. Like Thomas just dropped birds aren't real in the chat too.
Researchers at New Mexico Tech have designed these lifelike drones to hover and glide, but further development is required to implement a broader range of motions. Okay.
We do not need to be using dead birds for like. That's so
I mean,
weird.
why not utilize your resources? Like Mother Nature is giving you some stuff. Use it.
You guys obviously don't watch enough horror movies because that's how a horror movie starts.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. The birds take over and there's no control over them anymore. And then they're attacking people.
Hector raised a good point about birds.
What?
Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
No.
They're created.
Whoa.
Also,
I'm
pigeon.
looking that up.
I cannot. When I lived in San Francisco,
Yeah.
there are pigeons everywhere. I hate pigeons. They're just disgusting.
Oh, baby pigeons don't look like they look like
They're gross, right?
baby pigeons
they
are
actually
not
look
cute.
like squirrels. So if you see a squirrel, that's actually a baby pigeon.
That's so no, pigeons are cute. Baby pigeons are not.
Hey, we are 30 away from 100 thumbs up. Let's get to the century mark. Let's do it. Yeah, Thomas, they are flying rats. Pigeons are rats, especially the San Francisco ones. Everyone's like, oh, little pigeons. They're just dirty rats, man. They're everywhere.
And honestly, that's just you. I'm gonna look up pigeon facts. That's not true. That's not all they are. Pigeon facts. There's like some really good things about pigeons.
Oh, yeah. Give me some pigeon propaganda at this hour.
I got you. They're incredibly complex and intelligent animals.
Oh, everyone's incredibly complex.
They are one of only a small number of species to pass the mirror test, a test of self-recognition.
Yeah.
So, like, think about when you
Whoa.
shove your dog Carlin up at the mirror. What does he do?
He goes,
da, da.
I'm Carlin.
No, he doesn't.
This is me.
No, he doesn't.
I know who I actually, Carlin's here, believe it or not.
Hey, who's that other dog you got in here?
Paul
So
says, I love
stupid.
that birds
Give me
aren't
some
real.
wine.
Paul says, I love that birds aren't real was created by a teenager to make fun of Flat Earth Society. That's great.
Is that really? That's amazing.
Hey, Jax. Hey, let's keep hitting the thumbs up. Appreciate you guys being here. I can tell we've got good vibes today. I like it. What's your next pigeon fact, Morgan?
Both female and male pigeons share responsibility of taking for and raising the young. Both sexes take turn incubating the eggs and both feed the chicks pigeon milk.
Well, that's not how it should be.
Only women should make milk. Let's see. Oh, they have excellent hearing abilities. They can detect sounds at far lower frequencies
Yeah.
than humans are able to, and
I
can
disagree with
thus
that.
hear distant storms and volcanoes. Can you? Oh, do you hear volcano?
No.
Okay, we're good.
We got storm Pacific Northwest. It may dissipate by the time it hits the coast.
What does that sound like?
You wouldn't be able to hear it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I could make it. You would not be able to hear it. That's the thing.
How about you make it? I'll see if I can hear it.
Yeah,
You're right. I can't hear
Yeah.
it.
Could any of you guys hear that? Hold on, I'll do it again. Hold on.
Man, you're good.
Did you hear that?
I thought maybe I did.
Oh, you thought maybe I did.
This might be one of the dumber breaks that we've had.
No, it's not.
You mean best?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Birds.
Could any of you guys hear that on the chat? Let me know.
Birds aren't real. Oh, I love people that are sending me grades on Twitter too.
Oh no, that's Jay sending you a grade. Jay steers very negative.
Oh, but I see an A+. Oh,
Improvement A+. Ability to hold their position in the standings C-. They cannot seem to match up with teams like the Suns. To be a championship team, other starters.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings came up short to the Phoenix Suns yesterday, 120-109. Fox led the game in scoring with 35 points, but Phoenix had some huge performances, with Devin Booker scoring 32. Ayton had 29 points and 11 rebounds, and Chris Paul had a monster double-double with 17 points and 19 assists. The Kings are off for the All-Star break. They'll be back in action Thursday, February 23rd, when they host the Portland Trail Blazers. Jaguars wide receiver Calvin Ridley applied to the NFL for reinstatement today after he was suspended indefinitely for betting on NFL games while a member of the Atlanta Falcons. Ridley did not play at all during the 2022 season, and today was the first day he could apply for reinstatement. And now more of Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
If you were with us during the break on youtube.com/SactownSports 1140,
you would have learned a lot.
yeah, you would have thought we were on some vitamins today because we spent, I think, the entire break talking about pigeons.
Fascinating animals.
Yeah.
And
sure if you want to
they
call them
are real. Just to let everyone know.
that. It's disputed, but if you say so.
Mhm.
We've been talking about the Kings' loss last night to the Suns. We have reached the All-Star break, and the best news ever is that the Kings are going to have 9 days off between games. Their next game is not until Thursday, February 23rd at home against the Blazers.
Wow.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. Now, I remember seeing their record going into last night.
When they have a rest advantage, when they have more than 2 days off, they're now 4-9.
That's what it is.
Oh my
Yep.
God, you're right.
I know. And
What
so,
is this thing?
So now I'm a little scared of all of this rest that's coming up for them. Are they going to lose it all and not even understand how to
Dude.
play basketball?
How weird is that the Kings, when they have 2 days or more of rest this season, they're 4-9. That's awful.
You would.
We petitioned the league. They just play every day. It's
I-
like baseball. The Kings don't lose.
Their legs are just so tired.
I think I know what to do.
What?
I haven't seen anything of the Harlem Globetrotters. Couple exhibition games with the Globetrotters. Get those losses out of the way and
Yeah.
then get right back in the season.
That's really smart. That's really, really smart. Millions and millions of dollars, these players just going out there on a court in a game that doesn't even matter and they could get hurt. Really,
Mhm.
really smart.
Yeah, I agree.
Just to watch out for the pails with water.
You can hit us up.
Yeah.
So many ways to do it. youtube.com/SactownSports1140. Also, if you want to use your voice and actually communicate with us, who actually calls people on the phone? Not many people, but we will do it here. 1-800-920-1140, 916-339-1140. I threw out some random stuff. We're going to dive into ours later,
Sure.
but just like, what's the best story in the NBA this year?
Yeah.
The biggest disappointment, the MVP, exec of the year, coach of the year. Let's talk about it all today as we are at the All-Star break. Let's kick things off with Trevor. What's up, Trevor?
What's going on, man? It's good to talk to you guys today.
What is up, my man?
Congratulations on the show. I've been meaning to call in for a few weeks, but you it's a weird time of day. It's a weird time of day. But
I agree with you. What day is it?
I think it's Wednesday.
I think you're right.
It is.
Oh, I nailed it.
Good job,
cool.
man.
The old man is right for once.
Good job, old
Old
man.
man.
Anyway, I just appreciate that, Mo. That is who I am. I am the old man. I just wanted to just throw a shout out to the Kings in general this year. Nobody had it on their Kings bingo card for them to be in the 3rd seed going into the All-Star break. And I hope all 4 of these starters, I hope they all mail it in. I want them to just sit in ice buckets and take all the pictures and wave for the cameras and not do anything that any of these other coaches tell them to do. We have other things to take care of.
Love this
And on
idea.
that note, I will tap out. I love you guys, and I will gladly tap out. You guys have a great show.
All right, Trevor,
Thanks, so
appreciate
old
it.
man Trev.
Old man Trev. You see this? What's it say?
It says bingo card.
What's that say? Kings 3rd seed.
Bid?
3rd seed.
Kings
Kings 3rd
third?
seed. He said no one had it on the bingo. I literally just pulled this out of my backpack. Bingo card.
If you
Kings 3rd
laugh,
seed.
I swear I will come in there and knock that laugh out of your stupid face.
You're talking to Chris?
Yeah, I am. He's laughing at this stupid joke. We started the show and I said one thing and I was like, yeah, how excited. And Deuce is like, that's corny. Shut up. Sit down, Morgan. You just brought out a stupid piece of paper to make a bingo card to make a joke going off of what Trevor just said. That was the stupidest thing. Why are you still laughing?
I'm a prop comic.
No.
I can be. That's the good thing with me. I could do stand up, but I'm able to be a prop comic too. And I happen to have this with me.
You encourage this BS. You know that? You know that? That's not sustainable.
Bingo card.
You're lucky I'm good at those
I can't
drops.
believe I still had it on me. That's wild. That's
so
wild. It's good
stupid.
to have perspective. And look, Trevor's whole big picture, I think, is about perspective. I know the Kings lost last night. It wasn't a great game. Some of their flaws were exposed. We're going to talk more about like the issues at the backup 5 and backup point guard too that we got to get to.
Yeah.
They're 32-25 at the All-Star break. Let's play a game called If I Would Have Told You.
I love this game.
If I would have told Morgan, if I would have told you before the season at the All-Star break, the Kings would be 7 games above 500, the number 3 seed in the West. Oh, and by the way, they'd have 2 All-Stars. Where are you signing? Are you signing immediately? Or are you signing up for it?
Yeah, but I'm also thinking I'm signing something with the devil. I would be like, there's no way that this is okay, that this is actually going to happen. Again, not because I think negative, bad thoughts about what this team was capable of at that time. That just sounds a little too good to be true in this first full season of Mike Brown in this squad. And that's where they're at.
So the perspective is enjoy the moment.
Enjoy.
It doesn't mean that everything's perfect. It's far from perfect. And you're seeing what you're seeing right now too. The Kings are at the number 3 seed, but like I've been saying for weeks now, because they've been at the number 3 spot for a minute, it's not a real number 3 seed. It's not.
Oh, what does that mean?
It just means there are teams that are behind them that are better. And that's okay. I just want them in the top 6. It's clear when you watch them against other teams, more experienced teams, there is a gap. There's a gap between Denver and Sacramento. There's a gap between Memphis and Sacramento. There's a gap now between the Suns and Sacramento, especially post-trade with Booker back. The Clippers, there's a gap when healthy, and they're starting to put it together. They've kind of retooled what they have.
Yeah.
There's a gap there. Now you start going Kings and Dallas. I think there's a debate there. Kings and Pelicans right now with Zion that I can't trust to be there.
Oof.
It can still be challenging because they have length.
Okay.
But, the playoff series, who knows? Minnesota, they're better than Minnesota. Golden State, I don't know how to feel about the Warriors right now. I just don't.
I mean, are you even going to have GP2?
Utah, better than Utah. Portland, better than Portland. OKC is up and coming. They may not be better next year. Who knows? But my point is, it's the more experienced teams in the West that have this clear advantage. And I think it's experience. I think some of it's star power, it's personnel, it's physicality. And for the Kings to take that next step as a team, we're talking about the next couple of years to continue to retool this roster and get it to be like championship contenders. You got to go through it. You got to go through it. And I think so many times we want it now. Like I was getting the debates on our Discord today. Some people are like, man, of
course you were.
My guy Drew Mack talking about Keegan.
Oh, Drew Mack.
How is he? He only played 20 minutes last night. Look, I want Keegan to play more too. The guy's averaging just under 30 minutes a night as the number 4 pick in the draft on a winning team. That's a huge win to me. He is showing a lot out there, and he, it's not perfect yet, but that's okay. I just think some of this is just experience. Everyone wants it now. They want Keegan to be, I want to be that guy now. Dude, that 98-99 team, the first year they made the playoffs when everyone was excited in Sacramento, they got bounced in 5 games to the Jazz.
Deuce, everybody wants everything now. I mean, that's just how the sports world works, right? Why do you think people fire coaches after a bad season, after one bad season? It's like, nope, not good enough. Like, no one understands patience anymore. And the teams that do understand patience and they do understand development, the words I've been using for so damn long. How many times year after year would people get mad at me for using the P word, patience? How many times? I mean, people were like, we've been patient enough. Yes.
But
yes. No,
understand. You have to understand though, too.
But I was never talking about the patience of like, hey, be patient with Vlade doing the right thing. No, it was be patient with De'Aaron Fox's development. Be patient with, the way that a coach is trying to create a culture. And finally, though, you put basketball minds in charge, and it allowed this process to speed up a little bit when you put the right people there, and it's allowed De'Aaron Fox to take that leap in his game. A little bit of patience, though, can go a long way, even for this season. Them not making any moves at the trade deadline, I know I would have loved to see a few tweaks because there aren't guys playing at the end of the bench. Oh, phone. Yep.
Yeah, sorry. Kessler Edwards is on the phone. He looked good in 10 minutes last night.
Kessler, hey, are we going to see a little bit more of you?
We'll talk about that coming up. We got so much to get into, and I say that every time. That's beginning to be a crutch for me the last couple of shows.
Don't do that.
What we do when we have crutches, we call them out immediately.
We need a whiteboard in here.
No, the crutches, you guys have to call it out too in the chat.
Okay, what was that crutch though?
We got so much to get to.
Ugh,
we got a ton to get to. You don't want to miss it.
Ugh.
Oh, it's jam-packed.
It's a jam-packed show. We got so much to get to. You're not going to stick around.
All right, but seriously, stick around. We're always live. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. It's Deuce and Mo. What's up? What's up, Stephen Brown? Stephen Brown keeping the De'Aaron profile pic forever.
Where is he at? On the chat? Yes. Hey,
let's get to 100 thumbs up. It should be at 150. It's okay. Let's get it.
Ooh, what's up, party people?
Sactown Tony, no, it was shade at myself. I have a lot of crutches. I was not throwing shade at cows.
Wait,
I was literally saying, I keep saying this over and over again. We're making fun of me.
You'll hear how many crutches we have during a span of a week.
Yeah.
What was the other one that we always? Oh, can I be honest? I need to write that one down.
Can I be honest? What's up, Patrick? Roman. Hey, Tyler. Leezy in the building. Even Drew Mack's here.
Even Drew Mack?
Even Drew Mack. Keegan needs to be looking like a number 4 pick and averaging 40 minutes a night.
I'm Drew Mack.
Brown is messing this up.
I'm messing with you.
What's up, Chewy? Brian.
Okay.
Hey, Gil.
What up, Gil?
Martin.
So anybody in the chat have any advice about trying to get healthy again quick?
Oh, you want a cookie?
Nope. No, I haven't even touched a cookie.
There you go.
No. Why would you do that's honestly what is your problem?
We are really good.
What? No, Chris, this is like honestly weird and rude. And like I have a sugar problem. Like this is gross. You're a gross person. I don't want to work with him anymore. I'm leaving. That's gross. That's mean. I'm literally just talking about getting healthy again. And you literally go like this with a cookie.
Hey, sometimes you got to be able to handle it.
Sometimes you just don't do that to your teammate. Chris.
Yeah.
Oh my God. When you don't help me, you are the worst.
What was I supposed
You're
to do?
supposed to like tell him, no, that's
No,
bad.
Deuce. No.
Bad dog.
Bad.
Bad dog.
If you want to get healthy, here's what
Okay.
you do.
No.
Go do it.
Oh, really? With what time? With what time? Tell me what time.
I have an Olipop.
So anyway, my point to this was, you guys, everything is unhealthy about me, physically and mentally. But first, we'll start with physical.
Yeah. Where do you want to start there?
Let's get physical.
I've got a list.
Physical. Good for you. Shut up, and I hope you choke on a cookie. Honestly, hope you choke on a cookie. So anyway, what I was going to say was, when I was at the co-op today, I was like, if I take a whole bunch of these like gut shots, immunity shots, wellness shots, will I get healthy quick? If you have the answer to that, or if you've ever just relied on random health shots, wellness shots, let me know. Let me know if it worked.
Okay. You think this crowd that's listening to us or watching us is going to the co-op?
Yes,
and
Leezy.
doing gut-
I normally lift at 5 a.m. He's definitely on the wellness train.
Leezy lifts and then blacks out at night. Okay, I don't want it.
That's-
His lifestyle is
That's
not
true.
sustainable.
Yeah, that's a great point. Kombucha will get you healthy. Yeah, that's good for your
Why
gut.
do you
the
think I drink
probiotics.
this probiotics right
No,
here?
that's great. That's great. And you get, yeah, you always feel good after that. That's good.
I don't live my life without that.
Shut up. No. Can I just say
chicory root.
what Thomas said? King's winning helps my mental illness. Well, yeah, it definitely helps
Oh yeah, for
with
sure.
my mental health. The Kings winning this year has been like huge for my mental health. Todd says, I normally do McDonald's energy drink then Pop-Tarts for dinner.
Oh man, my stomach hurts just hearing that.
I have heartburn. How do I have heartburn from you?
Bruce says fasting and water. Yeah, also like the other end of the spectrum, not healthy.
If you find the
poor
answer,
thing.
Mo, can you let me know?
Yeah, probably wellness shots.
You know what I would recommend?
What?
Go on a darkness retreat where you just go in a hole for 4 days. You pay probably like
How much?
it's for the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, meals are included.
Are or aren't?
They are
Okay.
$10,000.
Oh God.
$10,000, and then you could figure out everything. You just go in this dark room. It's really nice. So.
Wait, they pay you $10,000 to do
No,
it?
you
I
pay.
didn't-
No,
Oh,
You pay to go sit in the dark.
I could do that for no, I couldn't. I do not like the dark. I do not like the dark. And like no white noise machine. Ugh.
Live and local.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Watch the show now on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 or listen for free on the Sactown Sports app.
Yeah, Morgan is seeking health advice from the YouTube chat. Great idea.
Tina says no sugar. That is a great idea. Yeah, why are you what's your issue? Why are you talking to our chat like that?
I'm just being honest.
No, you're acting like you're above and better and you know so much about health, way more than these people.
Have
Leezy
you-
lifts at 5 a.m. What
Okay,
do you know?
just to
What
be
do you
met-
know?
Deuce, right?
I'm
of
on
course
camera,
he thinks he
right?
knows all of that.
I'm on camera, right?
Yeah. Looking small there, bud.
Okay.
Yeah. We know where that one goes in his brain.
Yeah. It
Doesn't feel good.
Appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this Wednesday afternoon. Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, talking some Kings, some NBA. We do want to talk with you guys too at 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Trying to find out what's the best story in the NBA this year. Let's go to Timbo. What's up, Tim?
Hey guys, thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
Of
Best story is definitely the Beam team, and you were looking for awards that were going out. I think you said some awards, or maybe that was it. But the best looking team is the Sacramento Kings.
Are we
Without a doubt.
talking about on the floor or physically?
Physically, definitely.
Yeah.
I love it.
Pretty sexy team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be the only one that's seeing this. Fox, he's so cute. The bonus, stone cold handsome. And if we put if we put the Black Falcon up against anybody, he's going to win. He is stone cold good looking.
Yeah.
Yes, great smile. Great smile.
Just good looking. And then we got the other guys. We got the full cast character.
Yeah.
Best looking redhead in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly.
The only redhead in the NBA, right?
And the last thing I'd like to say is, Mo, you keep singing, girl. You keep singing.
Thank you.
You can go a lot of places with that voice. And any championship with Kevin Durant associated to it gets no respect.
Okay.
No respect.
I feel like I am in this small sector of the population that I like Kevin Durant. I think he's a great player.
I'm with you,
I
too.
dig him. People give him crap about going to Golden State. If I played in Oklahoma City and I became a free agent, I could go anywhere. No, let's take a step back. You are really great at your job. And every great company in America says, I want you to come here and I'm going to give you anything you want. What are you going to do? You're going to join the best one.
Boom.
People are like, no, you stay with the one that's,
nope.
You can win, but not win everything.
They don't care about you at the end of the day either.
Come on.
They don't.
So
they don't.
You know what? I respect that he did that back in the day.
Super with you. I have two things really quick. Dante DiVincenzo, Blake Griffin, both redheads. The other thing I was going to say, Kevin Durant. Oh, raising your hand?
They're not redheads. Does anyone look at Blake a redhead or DiVincenzo?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you're talking.
Herter is red.
Okay, fine. He wins as hottest redhead in the NBA. But going back to Kevin Durant too, I was on the post-game show with Kenny Thomas last night, and we had this Valentine's Day card about Kevin Durant, and he was like, I like KD. I'm like one of the few that like KD. Oops, I shouldn't say that. And I'm like, Kenny. And he always does that on live television. I'm always like, just say it. No, and you're right. I like him too. I don't understand the hatred around KD. I think sometimes people.
I like him going back at people on
Me
social
too.
media, to be
And
honest.
I think like everyone wants this like super nice guy that is just like perfect on the social media world. I mean, why? Because people crap on him all day. Why can't he go back at people? I love it.
Yeah. Let's go next to our guy. Leezy's in the building. What's up, Leezy?
Yo, Deuce and Mo, what's popping, guys? I just had a couple of quick comments today.
Yeah.
One, I'm from Oklahoma. I would not recommend it. Sacramento is a better landing spot. Two, Coach of the Year definitely should be Mike Brown. Mike Brown is twice the man Luke Walton ever was. Three, it's going to sound like I'm a homer, but Sabonis definitely should get some real MVP-like thoughts. Like, what he's been able to do for the Kings is legit. Going into this season, everyone was high on the Kings in preseason, but nobody predicted all this. And lastly, Mo, if you want to be healthy, just drink some Revitalite.
Yeah,
I
Stay
like
hydrated.
it.
Stay
I like
hydrated.
it, Leezy. Thanks for the advice, by the way.
All right. Leezy, a few points there. So he says Oklahoma City sucks. And
Okay.
Oklahoma sucks.
Yeah.
I've never been.
I've never been, so I can't say. I just heard a lot of Mountain Dews
I
being.
have been to Oklahoma.
And
I'll say when we had to drive from Oklahoma to Arkansas to see my family, I wish we stayed in Oklahoma.
Oh, God.
What was the other thing he was bringing? Coach of the Year.
Yep.
Coach of the Year. Mike Brown right now, the Vegas favorites for Coach of the Year at this moment, Mike Brown and Joe Mazzulla from Boston tied.
I love that. I love that. And you look at Missoula and what he's been able to do as a coach last minute getting he's technically still an interim head coach, right?
Maybe.
I think
is he considered an interim?
I swear I've heard a broadcast say that he's an interim head coach.
He's
I don't
34.
Yeah.
He's technically still the interim
Okay.
coach. I mean,
Which is
there's
so-
no way Udoka's coming back. And this
no
guy,
way.
like what? I don't know. That's interesting.
And how would he not just become your head coach after this? How?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a great question. I mean, I think
How are you even like hesitating?
because I think that you can make a case that Brad Stevens would be like, look, we didn't have time to do a full coaching search. We have one of the best teams in the league. Like, I want to talk to some guys. And I'm not saying like they should do that. And maybe that's the wrong play.
And this is why you guys never never be loyal to a company, a team, or anyone because they are not loyal to you. Do you hear that? Missoula is doing amazing things and is still the interim head coach. And
I'm not criticizing him. I'm
I
just
know you're
being
not.
honest about, like, if you are Brad Stevens in that front office, right before the season, all that stuff that goes down with Udoka, and you're like, we got to do something here. We don't have time to conduct the coaching search. Missoula, you want the job?
Number 1 in the Eastern Conference. I mean,
Yes. It's a very good team, too. To me, they are the favorites to win it all. And he deserves a lot of credit for keeping it together.
Thank you.
I mean, you are walking into an unbelievable. I mean,
absolutely.
Again, I think he's probably going to get the job. I do. But hear me out for a second. Hear me out. You can make a case. Like, Luke Walton won games for the Warriors, too.
He did.
When Steve Kerr was out.
He did, but didn't he have to come in mid-season for that as well? Like, it was mid-season.
Like, it was
this was the
chunk.
start of a season. You have a season where you're playing in a conference where underneath you have the Bucks, an MVP in Giannis. Underneath that, you have Philly, an MVP in Joel Embiid. And you are on top with another MVP-looking guy in Jason Tatum. God, I almost said Jason Thompson. In Jason Tatum. And you are making it all work, even through the adversity, the injuries, the changes. You are making it work, Deuce. Come on now.
Yeah,
that's disrespectful if they go in that direction.
It's
not the NBA. No, it's business. That's stupid.
It's not that. But it's also you have to consider, like, do the guys like him? Did Tatum and Brown? Do they get down with the guy? I don't know. I'm not making a case against it. I'm just presenting.
I know.
Like, you can make a case that. Okay.
I'm just saying it's a little ridiculous. Even that, it's like, where have we seen teams go when a player doesn't like his coach? Okay, have fun, LeBron and the Lakers.
But Brad Stevens' job, Morgan,
and he's a smart guy.
He's a very smart guy. His job is to find the right coach for the team he believes can lead for years to come. Maybe Missoula is that guy. If the players get down with him, they have success. They probably have to keep him. But I'm sure in the back of his head, he's going,
stunned.
I have a list of candidates that I would like to talk to.
The disrespect.
Okay.
Not even from you. I'm just saying from the culture, the coaching culture. That's not sustainable. Thank you.
What is sustainable is us. We're on from 11 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. Coming up next hour, what's the best story in the NBA? Who's the MVP? Who's the biggest disappointment in the league and maybe with the Kings? We're going to hit that coming up next hour on Sactown Sports. I will be right back. Hey, YouTube chat, hit the thumbs up.
Looking out on the tinkle time. I used to have to pee. 'Cause you make me pee. Get it. 'Cause you make me pee. Sing it, Mo. 'Cause you make me pee like a natural. Hey, Deuce. Every time. Is it weird that I'm encouraging myself to sing?
Oh, no, it's fantastic.
Okay, great. Oh, my God. Todd, his explanation, or like, I guess, counter against Missoula. Boston has lost 3 times against the Magic. It's a great point. Fire his ass. Oh, yeah. I see you, Eric, talking about Davion Mitchell. We're going to be talking about him coming up and more about this Kings Suns game. The rookie and Keegan Murray. Mohammed, like you even say that Celtics should consider hiring Quinn Snyder. Why? It's stunning to me. I think sometimes people have this vision of like, yeah, but experience and where this coach has been. Someone else was saying like they should look to hire Quinn Snyder. And it's just like this team's number 1 in the Eastern Conference. And it's just like, I think this goes to everyone's mindset of what we're used to in the NBA. Deuce, you and I, we like to do things different when it comes to radio or just creating content. And sometimes you got to take a step back and go, that actually isn't cute. Let's not do it that way. That also doesn't need to happen that way just because people have doing it for years.
Well, let me ask you this.
What?
Would you have a problem if Brad Stevens was like, I'm going to be just transparent. We're just talking to people, and then Missoula still gets the job, or should they just give it to him now?
Here's my thing. If I was Missoula, I'd be like, what else did I need to do to prove to you that I can do this job? I've been in your system now. I stepped up to the challenge. What makes you believe that this would not be sustainable with me? That's what I would just ask that right away. And I'd be like, let's have that honest conversation. And what is Brad Stevens going to say? Well, actually, you're right. Like, why would I think someone that can do it better than you when you've already shown you can do it this great? I hate how some organizations work. And not even saying that they're going to do that. I know that's our mindset of how so many things we go about, so many things in this world. Scout wants to know, has anybody asked Coach Brown directly why Holmes hasn't seen the floor since the Lakers game?
I mean, he has seen the floor since the Lakers game, but you're right. I mean, he really hasn't played any significant minutes. I don't know that anyone has asked him since then. Since that Lakers game, he has 9 DNPs. He played 5 minutes against Philly. He played 14 against Memphis in that, but that was also the win when they won by a lot. And 3 minutes, 10 minutes against the Pelicans, the game they lost by 32. Yeah, I mean, I struggle with the fact that this guy has been a starter in the league, and I'm not even proclaiming that he should be a starter in the league, obviously, especially with this roster. But Metu struggled.
Yes.
Metu has deficiencies. Like, you can't tell me that Holmes can't be as productive or more productive than Chimezie Metu out there. And, against Aiden last night, he would have struggled with it. But still, like, you got all these bigs. You got Len. You got Kada. And none of those guys played last night, Stan.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings came up short to the Phoenix Suns yesterday, 120-109. Fox led the game in scoring with 35 points, but Phoenix had some huge performances with Devin Booker scoring 32. Ayton had 29 points and 11 rebounds, and Chris Paul had a monster double-double with 17 points and 19 assists. The Kings are off for the All-Star break. They will be back in action Thursday, February 23rd, when they host the Portland Trail Blazers. Jaguars wide receiver Calvin Ridley applied to the NFL for reinstatement today after he was suspended indefinitely for betting on NFL games while a member of the Atlanta Falcons. Ridley did not play at all during the 2022 season, and today was the first day he could reapply for reinstatement. It is 12 o'clock, time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. And now more of Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo.
On Sactown Sports.
Yes, appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. Deuce Mason, Morgan, Reagan. Coming up at 1, by the way. First time we're having Hunter Patterson on from The Athletic. Going to talk some Kings with him. So we'll get his thoughts on it. Almost everything we've been talking about today.
As we came back into the show, you were rolling your eyes looking at the TV. What happened?
NBA today had a headline about the Warriors that said, "Panic at the Frisco."
That's funny.
I like it.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, that's funny, but my bingo card thing was not.
No.
Okay.
No, that was a try-hard moment.
I'm
Like,
glad we cleared that up. I'm glad.
Both of them.
No, correct. No, we
Cringe.
don't. Remember, we don't do that.
Appreciate the YouTube chat too. During the breaks, people are, asking questions, just talking. We appreciate you guys so much for being here. If you're there and haven't hit the thumbs up, do it. Hit the thumbs up. It helps our channel grow. Morgan, we've reached the All-Star break. The Kings, 7 games above 500. They will be the number 3 seed as we enter All-Star weekend. They lost to the Suns last night in Phoenix, 120-109. But because we have reached the point of the All-Star break, we're trying to figure out, okay, let's talk about some awards. I think we have seen enough games. The Kings have played 57 games. They have 25 games to go. We can give some Kings awards, some NBA awards. I want to start with this, and I'm curious to get people's perspective, whether it's on the phones, 339-1140, 1-800-921-1140, or in the chat. What is the best story in the NBA?
Are you asking me right now?
Yeah.
Okay. It's really hard to like separate yourself from the Sacramento Kings and what's going on there.
You don't have to because it is the Kings.
It has to be, right? Like
Morgan, this is a team that's been the laughing stock. They have not made the playoffs in 16 years. They have 2 All-Stars. They're 7 games above 500. They've been pretty consistent. They've had some fortunate luck with injuries along the way. They're fun. They've got a beam. It's good vibes. They're clearly the best story in the NBA.
Okay, because I'm right there. And I think what's wild, you could put at second, you could put like maybe the Celtics after everything that happened at training camp and being able to face that adversity and then be the number 1 team in the East. But the reason why it's the Kings over them, because it's the underdog team that's having the come up and not the team that was right there last year kind of showing like, hey, we're still good enough to fight through this adversity. That's what makes the King story that much better.
If Cam Thomas can continue his play, I mean, it's come down a little bit, right? He wasn't going to average 40 a game. That'd be a pretty good story. I guess another good story from an individual, I'm going with Walker Kessler.
Ooh.
I mean, this guy was like thrown into the deal and the Gobert deal. He has been, as a rookie, way productive. In fact, probably more productive than Rudy Gobert and has been that impactful. He was a rookie in this deal. The Jazz get all these draft picks back. He is kind of that last. Oh, they also got Walker Kessler.
Throw him in there.
That big white center.
Yeah,
they got Walker Kessler. He's been awesome. He's blocking shots. He's rebounding. He's doing all the things that they like from Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. 7-footer that is active, that is young, that is cheaper. I mean, that is such a fun story, especially the reason what makes it that much more fun though, Deuce, is the drama within what the trade was, right?
I love drama.
I love drama.
You love drama.
Thank you. And I think that's what's made the NBA and some of these stories that we're going out and some of these angles that we're talking about right now so fun is because what led to those moments. And this is truly that blockbuster trade that went down. The T-Wolves trying to make me believe that something great was going to come out of Rudy Gobert and Cat being on the floor together. And instead, you got a guy in Walker Kessler who's just killing it.
My other candidate for best story, just in general, sometimes we get focused on team, big picture. Drew R on our Discord had this one, and I like it. Just the Wild Wild West.
That's cool. Yeah.
The West has been insane this year.
Yeah.
The fact that there are so many teams just in the mix, I think that's been the best part of the NBA. I think there was a lot of criticism about the play-in tournament when it was enacted. It's like, God, how many teams are going to be a part of your playoff, the chance of the playoffs? I think it's pushed teams to choose a path. Do you want to push for the playoffs? Be competitive. This is better for fans to have this many teams in the mix at the end of the year. It keeps engagement. The West every night has been changing, flip-flopping like crazy. I think the West has been an awesome story.
Yeah, the Western Conference as a whole, because how many of us in the beginning of the season were like, hey, the Clippers, they're the best. They're going to come out of the West. They got Kawhi. They got Paul George. And then you started having the whole Kawhi Leonard story unravel where it's like, oh, he's actually not ready to play. Oh, he's going to play one game and then not play for a few weeks. Now he's starting to put some more games together consistently. And you've seen them play a lot better. And that's where but that's the other angle of all this. That's where it gets scary. And that's where also you don't want this around the NBA because you don't want teams to look at this situation and go, yeah, play your best player when it matters most, when you just need to get them into the playoffs. But once you have them there, things are going to get good. And I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the chemistry around some of these teams in the West are going to be that much better than this squad.
Oh, what do you think about Romans, guys? He says the best story in the NBA is the Lakers laughed my ass off, 13th seed, and they don't even own their own pick.
That is pretty good.
It's so good.
Oh.
It's anyone. I love seeing them just crumble.
Earl in the chat says Lowry Markkinen deserves some love for best story.
Going back on the Lakers being terrible.
Yeah.
when the Kings are in that 4-game losing streak,
Yeah.
the one thing that made it better was the Lakers were just as bad.
Yeah.
Dude, it was nothing to worry about, right?
Yeah.
It's watching them crumble and fall, and especially with some of their fans that are just absolutely disgustingly awful. It is so fun to see.
We need to get the biggest disappointment too. The Lakers could fall into that category, but first, let's hit up Casey at 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You can call us there too. What is up, Casey?
What's going on, Deuce and Mo?
Oh, nothing much, man. What are you up to?
Oh, I'm just heading off to college, getting ready for that test today.
You have a test today?
Dang right.
Okay.
And-
What subject, man?
It's statistics and then anatomy after that. So good luck to me.
Good luck to you, Casey.
So do you have a biggest surprise or best story in the NBA this year?
It's the Kings. No one thought they would be this good. Who would have? I saw last night in your night chats, like people were so mad that Monty didn't make a move. Like they're gonna win. They're not gonna win a playoff series. Like were we expected to win a playoff series anyway? Just being here in the 3 seed with more wins than they had at this point than all of last year. This season's a success. Even if they don't win a playoff series.
I mean, I think most people projected, if anything, they would be a play-in team. And right now, they're on pace to be a playoff team. It's going to be a challenge. And I also, I was looking at this today, not to be a Deucey Downer here.
Oh, here we go.
I was like, when was the last time the Kings had 30-plus wins at the All-Star break?
Okay.
2018-19 season, they had 30 wins at the break. The Kings had 32 this year. They were 30-27, so they were 57 games in. Kings have 2 more wins with this version's team, but the Kings of 2018-19 won just 9 games the rest of the way out of those 25. So,
miserable times.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be worst possible scenario for sure, but I don't anticipate that happening. So it's a long way to go still, but yeah.
I'm expecting mid-40s, maybe even closing in on 50 wins. Why not? This team is playing so well.
I don't know about 50. You're getting greedy, Casey. If I was your stats teacher and you're trying to project 50, I would probably give you a C-.
I mean, we deserve it, though. I mean, we've had 16 years of failure, and now we're seeing a team that can finally look like it can make some noise. So
I know.
Let us be a little greedy. Greedy.
I appreciate it, Casey. And it's so sweet. We deserve it, though. No. We know, everyone around the NBA knows, Kings fans and the Kings deserve it, but it doesn't mean that's just going to happen, right? It's just, it's tough to imagine anything around that.
Just to be clear, for them to win 50 games they would have to go, 18-7?
And they're
It's
playing
okay.
the Suns 2 more times, the Mavs 1 more time. I mean, the
list goes on.
Yeah.
They got OKC in there, Portland. Yeah.
I feel like any team that you name, could pretty much.
Now, if they did, that'd be wild.
Woo! I mean,
But the fact that we're talking about them on pace to win the mid-40s, I mean, I thought that was best case scenario this year. It doesn't mean I felt like going into the season, best case, they can win 44, 45 games. Wow. There's just a lot I think sometimes I don't get credit for.
So then last year when you said that they were going to win a lot more games and you were wrong, why?
A lot more. I said that I believe they could get over 37.5. That wasn't that ridiculous.
And then you had to shave your head.
Yeah, I did. And I looked great because of it. So it ended up being awesome.
Wow.
This season, I did say that I thought the West from 3 to 10 was a crapshoot. I projected this.
3 to 10.
I did.
Okay.
Go back to the podcast. You want me? Oh, you know what? I'll do that for you. I will put it all together.
Where are you
going
to find this time?
I will make time when it comes to proving how right I was about something.
That's so stupid. Do it.
But my whole point is the Kings being the fact that they're in this conversation with 40, 45 games is insane.
Yeah. Do you think that they'll actually get there? Do you think they'll end the season at 500?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. How wild.
I mean, they just have to win 9 games the rest of the way to be at 500 for the season. And if they won just 9 games the rest of the way, it would be this is a lot like the 18-19 season.
Seriously.
9 and 14.
Only 9 more games.
Oof.
That wouldn't be the best way to end the
No.
season, but yeah, it's just wild to think about.
I did a little statistical analysis.
Oh, I can't wait.
For the Kings. Our guy Casey said that the Kings should win 50 games. Just to put it in perspective, they'd have to go 18-7 for the rest of the season.
Isn't that crazy? Because I said that.
He said that out loud.
Oh, did he?
I don't know how he did the math in his head, and when he was doing it, I was like, "What?"
I said it immediately.
Oh, did you?
Wait, Chris, but what is
I
it
almost
again?
thought you were kidding.
Oh, he must have been doing it in that frequency that
you couldn't hear it. I was doing it in the pigeon frequency. You hear?
I thought I heard 8 and 17.
No.
Oh.
You see, you don't hear it all the way. Your pigeon hearing is not good. 18-7. 18-7 the rest of the way. Yeah, and as Dave would say in the chat, it's easy math. It's not that complicated.
You say it's easy math. It's still like you're processing so many things in your head while doing a live show, and then you just like throw out that number, and it's like, okay.
I'm brilliant. Yeah, I know. All right, coming up in 60 seconds, we'll talk about the biggest disappointments, not only in the NBA, but how big is Kings disappointments?
Oh.
I don't like to steer negative, but we have to
gotta
talk
talk
about
some,
it.
yeah.
Let's do some Mo on Sactown Sports back in 60.
It's funny. We were just talking about the Western Conference, and I see this NBC tweet, Mike Brown talking about the West is crazy.
So crazy.
We're not the only ones that are saying it. It's easy math. Well, I'm so sorry. My math skills are not.
Yeah, that's not Morgan's strength.
Oh, no.
What do you do with my water jug? Thank you.
What did you do with my water jug? Poor Dame Lillard.
What happened to him?
I think Todd's just saying in general.
He's still with the Trailblazers.
Doesn't have to be.
He's my Luka. I always make fun of fans that like, oh, dude, he didn't come here. Like, why are you still on Luka? But like,
there you go.
Oh, that one hurts you most.
That's
what
the
you're
one.
saying.
Damian Lillard should have been a king.
He should have been a king. Almost was a king. Almost was a king.
There's too many of those now where it doesn't faze me anymore.
Yeah.
Dame, Steph,
If
Clay,
I didn't hear the story of
Kawhi.
like he was number one on their list, and then why can't I think of his name? Kept dropping.
Thomas Robinson.
Thomas Robinson.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. I mean, I think the funny part is when you go. I was at some of these projects. Stand by.
It's Deuce and Mo on your local sports leader.
Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, we have reached the All-Star break, and we're always live on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Join the chat. Hang out with us. If you're there, hit the thumbs up button. I'm Deuce. That's Mo. What's up, Mo?
Hi.
I love the chat dropping some biggest disappointments, and one that I did not think of.
What?
Before we get to ours.
Yeah.
Patrick says James Wiseman has to be the biggest one in the NBA. Warriors let GP2 go and then traded Wiseman for a hurt Gary Payton II.
Yeah, dude. That's some tough stuff right there. I mean, one, you just look back at that draft and you go, what were we thinking, right? We were just talking about that at the break too someone said poor Damian Lillard because he is in Portland and, we want Dame to do better and he could have been a king. And then we're looking back at, who the Kings could have had. I mean, there's teams all over this league that have that. And with this James Wiseman pick, that's one of them, Deuce.
It's so predictable, though, in so many ways. Like, my question is, what did you expect? Like, what did you expect with Wiseman? Like,
what do you mean?
He missed like an entire year.
Yeah.
He played 3 games in college.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he was clearly not a prospect that was going to just come in right away and get buckets for the Warriors and be this high impact player. And they drafted him and then they realized, this is going to be too much for us, and it's like, well, then why'd you take him to begin with? You should have gone with Halliburton or LaMelo then at that point.
Not only
go with the more established player that could help you right away.
Not only was it going to be too much for them, but like you look at their system, like they know how to develop guys. They know how to mold guys into what they want them to be. And
they did. Now I think with Kerr, no, I just think it's different. Steve Kerr hasn't shown me he could be a developmental coach. He has shown me he can be a coach that can
work with what he's got.
A great team.
Okay.
I mean,
I think let me push back a little. I think knowing who Steve Kerr,
who has he developed?
It's okay. It's not about developing them no, hear me out. It's not just about developing them on the floor. It's about developing them into a pro, into a legitimate understanding what it means, what it takes to be that next level NBA player. And I think when you have so many winning seasons like he does, like even if he's not specifically the one as a coach that is developing this young person's skills, he is teaching that young player what it means to win in the NBA.
And that's very cute. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's important. No, because you're like dancing around this.
No, I'm
Morgan,
not.
Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody.
What about them?
Wiseman. Moody doesn't even play for them.
Kuminga's playing
a little bit more. He hasn't shown trust in Kuminga. Steve Kerr is in such this win now mentality. Like they have not been able to figure out the balance of we want to win now, but we got these young guys to bring along. They have not developed these guys the way they need to. Like the whole plan is you got Curry, you got Clay, you get Draymond, and then you kind of guide into that next phase.
Yeah.
Where those guys start to go down, but hey, you got these guys ready to go. It's been a failure for them. It really has. And that when you trade your number 2 pick because you're not patient with him, then you go get Gary Payton II. I like GP2, but that's not, I mean,
that's after like not wanting or willing to pay him. But that's not even, again, that's not Steve Kerr's fault necessarily. Like I'm sure he has a lot of say and a lot of power, but at the same time, you look at that situation, he's like, I want that guy back in my system. Like he knows what we're about. He knows what our culture is about.
My point though is they have not developed their young guys well
and
enough.
That's fair.
And that's a problem. Like and this is where they messed up is my point. Is like, okay, if that's not your strength or you're not going to commit to really developing these guys, then you shouldn't have drafted them. You should remember when the Warriors had those picks when they had the Kuminga pick and Moody, what was that, 7 and 14 in that draft?
Okay.
Everyone's talking about they're going to trade him. They probably should have then. They should have just traded for another guy because if you're not going to maximize or develop or anything like that, there's no point. And they clearly don't want to do that. And that's what's tough sometimes, man. Steve Kerr is a great coach. He's won championships, but we can also acknowledge like this is not a strength of his staff here, is developing young talent.
And look where they had some of their most recent and best success, and that was adding someone like Kevin Durant, right? Like adding that established piece and being able to work that within your system rather than trying to mold and develop somebody. No, it's absolutely a fair point, but I also think my point is very valid on what the culture and standard he has set in Golden State. Seeing Mike Brown come from that and learn so much from that is why I go back to saying I think that it's a great place for people to develop from that standpoint. But sure, maybe when it comes to having that trust and having a longer leash on the floor and getting those NBA minutes is not where
when
it's
you're
at.
trying to chase championships, when you're in this with your window open, it's a little harder to focus. You're focusing more on what do we got to do to get back to the championship? You're more focused on that stuff instead of development. It's challenging. I'm not acting like it's an easy thing, but it hasn't been great for them.
Yeah.
It hasn't been.
So James Wiseman being
one of the disappointments. I think people make the Lakers. I think to me, the biggest disappointment, I think the Hawks are up there. I mean, you trade for DeJounte Murray, you get all that. Trae Young doesn't make the All-Star team this year. They're kind of just hovering right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a team that made the conference finals a couple of years ago. They're a big disappointment. I think Minnesota, for their expectations, I didn't necessarily think it was going to work, but you give up everything for Gobert.
Everything.
You got Cat. It looked ugly at first, and Cat goes down. There's still glimpses that they have a bright future because Anthony Edwards is a stud and a half. But they're still very murky with like, how's this Gobert thing come together when Cat gets back? Do we trade Cat? They're one of the biggest disappointments based on everything they gave up to get Gobert and what they accomplished last year.
There's a few disappointments. I'm totally with you on the T-Wolves and trying to act like having these two bigs out there with Ant was actually the the answer and the new way of the NBA. I believed it for a second. I was like, is there something I don't know about basketball and this is actually going to work? No, it's not going to work. They're going to have to make changes again. It's a disappointment. Two other disappointments I have would be the Nets and the Blazers. And starting with the Nets, though, I would say because mostly you look at this whole situation of going from Harden, Kyrie, KD to
Simmons
to then Simmons, Kyrie, KD to now. Then it was going to be Simmons and KD for a second, but then it wasn't. It was
it's
now
clearly
it's just Simmons.
like just the whole era, like a huge disappointment. Like they had championship aspirations at the start of the season. Steve Nash was coaching them earlier this year.
Yeah,
it's changed a lot, and I feel like I kind of like their team now. They're kind of sneaky fun, but yeah. They're definitely one of the biggest disappointments. The Blazers too. We'll talk more about that coming up next. What?
Nothing. That was just me because of a break. You're screwing with my flow.
Coming up at 1, we're going to talk to Hunter Patterson from The Athletic. Talk some Kings with him. We'll continue our NBA awards. Talk about who's deserving of the MVP. Let's talk about Kings disappointments too. That's straight ahead on Sactown Sports. What is going on with the chats?
What's up, chat?
Oh, Deuce, I saw that promo with Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes. I thought it was kind of meh.
Yeah, people hyped it like it was some generational thing. I was saying,
Cody Rhodes is so dramatic. So dramatic.
Oh, yeah. Have you met his father?
Well, no.
What about his brother?
Yes. I mean, I know more of his brother than his father. But, like, I just think about every single match or every single promo that he cuts, and it's always the same. It's always right here of drama, and that's not always going to fly. You got to find some balance. You got to sometimes bring it back down here, and then
you don't like his
there.
suits with like the chain thing that's hanging down. Yeah,
and his cool tattoo on his neck, his neck
terrible.
Tattoo. Stupidest thing I've ever seen.
So I was talking to a friend last night, and I was thinking, like, the whole elimination chamber coming up, Sami Zayn, and like, oh, are they going to go up against? I said, if it were me, and this is bad because I know there's no way that this would happen, but if it were me, something shady happens at elimination chamber. Sami Zayn doesn't win, but Cody Rhodes is just like, you know what? You should be here. I should be wrestling you. I shouldn't be. I want you to be in the match in WrestleMania against me and against Roman Reigns, 3-way. Sami Zayn wins.
Okay.
Goes to go shake hands with Cody, and Cody just loses it.
That'd be great.
He's just like, that was supposed to be my moment. You ruined it.
I would love that.
I honestly got the chills when you were telling this.
Because Cody his babyface thing does not rub off. I get kids might like him, but it's so corny.
I know it's minor leagues to you, but when you would see him in Ring of Honor.
I didn't watch the minor leagues.
As a heel, he was an incredible heel.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I just roll my eyes when I think of him and his wife.
Whoa. Whoa.
What?
I'm just kidding.
They're both. Let's bring out the dogs and have a whole bunch of fireworks so then the dogs
that
scared.
was ridiculous.
I did meet them.
The dogs?
I didn't meet the dogs. I met Cody Rhodes and I met Brandy Rhodes when they were in Las Vegas. I didn't speak much with Cody, but Brandy might have been one of the nicest people I talked to. It's just like, oh, wow, you're so cool.
Aww.
You think she was kind of phony? Maybe?
No.
Was she flirting with you?
No, definitely not.
Definitely.
If you're a wrestling fan, I'll just give you guys a hint. If you're a wrestling fan meeting a wrestler, none of the women are flirting with you.
What about me, though, Chris? Do you think maybe?
No.
But you're not paying to meet them. You're just meeting them.
That's true.
They're meeting him.
I mean, I hang out with wrestlers sometimes. It's not a big thing.
That happened one time. One time, bud. One time? Yeah, one time. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That's another thing I did want to eventually get back to was the Suns-Kings game at some point, just because I wanted to talk more Davion, no Monk being there, that kind of stuff.
I was kind of We were going to talk about disappointments. I thought that might fit in.
Ooh. Ooh. I like it. I like it.
You know, a good game tonight, guys.
What?
Nuggets Mavs tonight.
What time? 6? Mountain time. Do I actually have time to watch this game?
Mavs Nuggets tips off at 6 tonight at the Mile High City.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God, the ESPN game tonight is trash.
What is it?
Pelicans Lakers. Oh,
I'm here for it.
wait, let's see. Do they only have one tonight? They have Cavs Sixers. That's kind of fun. You got Heat Nets tonight, Jazz Grizzlies, Mavs Nuggets. That's the game of the night. Pelicans Lakers. My God. The NBA does. I don't know what the answer is. And I know like with production crews, it's tough.
Yeah.
They got to find a way to flex some of these games, dude. No LeBron.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings came up short to the Phoenix Suns yesterday, 120-109. Fox led the game in scoring with 35 points, but Phoenix had some huge performances with Devin Booker scoring 32. Ayton had 29 points and 11 rebounds, and Chris Paul had a monster double-double with 17 points and 19 assists. The Kings are off for the All-Star break. They'll be back in action Thursday, February 23rd, when they host the Portland Trail Blazers. Jaguars wide receiver Calvin Ridley applied to the NFL for reinstatement today after he was suspended indefinitely for betting on NFL games while a member of the Atlanta Falcons. Ridley did not play at all during the 2022 season, and today was the first day he could apply for reinstatement. And now it's time for more Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Oh, yes. Deuce Mason Morgan, Reagan, live until 2 p.m. You got Cals and Rami after us. We're live and local from 6A to 6P on Sactown Sports, and you can get us anywhere. Yeah, you're driving around, listening on the AM dial. That's cool.
Really?
No, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's cool. But you can listen 96.1-2 on the HD feed.
There you go.
How about the app? Download the free app.
That's
Sactown
how I
Sports
listen.
app. Yeah.
That's how I listen.
The Sactown Sports app in your app store. And when you're at home, you're at your office, and you're like, hey, it's the middle of the afternoon. I kind of want to listen to something. Let me just go on YouTube, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 and watch the shows. I can have them on in the background. Maybe I chat a little bit and make sure to hit the thumbs up.
You know, many people have told me, they're like, yeah, I've tried just putting you on the YouTube, having you be my white noise. And instead, I'm addicted. I can't stop listening.
That's what I do to people.
I'm addicted to you.
Great singing again, Morgan.
Thank you.
We have reached the point of the NBA season. It's the All-Star break. People love to call it the first half. No, it's pre-All-Star break. We have reached the All-Star break. 57 games in with 25 to go for the Sacramento Kings. 7 games above 500 at the break. That's great stuff. We have great perspectives. Kings sending a whole bunch of guys to All-Star weekend, including Sabonis and Fox. You got Kevin Huerter in the three-point shootout. And I think Simons got hurt yesterday. Anthony Simons got hurt. So maybe Keegan Murray gets into the three-point shootout.
Ooh.
Let's push that agenda. 41% three-point shooter, rookie. You've got teammates in it anyway. You got Halliburton, Hield. What better way to go Indiana versus Sacramento? You got Hield and Halliburton going head-to-head with Kevin Huerter and Keegan Murray.
I don't care what you say. Not what you say, or what anyone says. That's a fun angle. You thought I was going to say the F word.
I did for a split second. I think you're going to say that's an F ton of
fun.
Yes.
And
it kind of
fun.
sounded like that.
So fun.
We've also been talking about like best surprises, biggest disappointments,
Coach of the year.
Biggest disappointments. We rattle off a couple of them. Are the Lakers up there? They have to be, right?
Absolutely. As long as LeBron James is in the league and there's teams or organizations around him actively trying to make things better to get him another championship, then yeah, it's a disappointment. So what? The last time they saw something good was the bubble? And like they had their championship year?
And hey, let's be
real
honest about it.
Don't do it.
Does it really count?
That's stupid. We've talked to Sam Amick about this. Of course it does.
The Mickey Mouse Championship is what they call it because it's not a real championship.
You're all kidding. That's honestly
I am
stupid.
kidding because
Yes.
I actually believe in some ways it was more challenging.
Yeah. Mentally.
You did not have to travel. No, being
Truly.
in that, although
I will say, I mean, Anthony Davis with problems getting injured. He was injured at the time. He got some extra time to get healthy.
he did. But also at the same time, just being in that bubble.
Trapped.
You say that. I think there's going to be an interesting documentary or book written about the NBA bubble. It may be 15 years from now.
One?
No, but this is going to, maybe they did, but we're talking about maybe players, certain players got away with certain things during the bubble where others did not.
Huh. Okay. Well.
Like the restrictions in place.
No, I get that.
Restrictions were a little different for media, maybe.
Ew, that's how things are with rich people get what they want.
People
and it's
coming into the bubble.
disgusting.
Anyway, biggest disappointment, so.
Barf.
Okay.
Oh, biggest disappointment.
I want to go to King's biggest disappointment. I think right now, to be honest, it's Davion Mitchell. And you know how I feel about Davion. Guy's a dog. He brings it.
Yeah.
Especially defensively. But man, I mean, we've been talking so much about, hey, the Kings have a backup 5 problem forever, right? Who is a backup 5? I personally think the Kings can solve that a little bit. I would try Rashawn Holmes more. That's a different story. But now I feel like in a way the Kings might have a backup point guard problem. For most of the year, Malik Monk's almost been handling those backup duties. I know he's been playing with Mitchell, but Monk's been the guy that's been the playmaker, getting inside the paint, setting up the offense, running pick and rolls. Excuse me.
Barf.
But Davion Mitchell last night without Monk there played 9 minutes. His minutes are going down. It doesn't seem like he's got a lot of confidence with the shot. It also seems like he doesn't have what's up?
It was moved up to 10 minutes on the court side.
I think they rounded up. It was 9 minutes, 58 seconds or something like that. But yeah, so
God.
Whatever, 10 minutes last night.
Yeah.
And I know what he could do defensively, but man, I expected more. And I think that's one concern I have going forward with the Kings the rest of the way, the final 25 games. You're putting so much pressure on Fox and Sabonis, your 2 best guys. You don't have stuff behind them that make you feel totally comfortable. And I thought based on how Davion finished last year, even though it was like Fox was hurt, Sabonis missed some games at the end, there were enough flashes. You're like, oh, he's knocking down a shot. Okay, maybe he can function running a team. He has just not found his offense, his shot this year. And I just don't know if he's uncomfortable with Mike Brown's offense.
There's times I look around the NBA and I'm like, if he was getting opportunities on other teams, would he excel?
Yeah.
And most times I go, yeah, he could do that here or here. And you see what he is as an elite on-ball defender and how valuable that can be at times, not only here in Sacramento with this squad, but you think about what he could do with another team with that type of defense. But offensively, you see, like you're saying, those flashes of confidence of, I got this, of, oh, hey, last game I wasn't aggressive enough, so now I'm going to try and be more aggressive and get to the rim and try and finish this one off. And I love that he is so coachable. I love that he would do anything for his mental health, his physical health, to be the best. You can't even try to be the best if you're going to only get 10 minutes of play, but at the same time, if you're only getting 10 minutes and that's your role, you have to be efficient. You have to find a way.
I think that's fair that he is a guy that has struggled to adjust to the minutes, right? He's playing way more minutes last year. And now he's coming in and he's in for like 3 minutes. Like last night, I think he came in. I should double check here.
Nice.
He came in at the 5:50 mark of the first quarter.
Okay.
He came out at 2:54. Wow.
It's not a lot of time to get going.
Then in the second quarter, he came in at the 9-minute mark, out at the 6:22 mark. Third quarter comes in at the 4:10 mark. He's out by the 1-minute mark. He's playing 3-minute stints. And if you're a rhythm player, if you're a guy that needs to get into a flow, that's tough. Now, Fox is going to play the majority of the minutes, but also Davion in those minutes, he's getting opportunities to knock down shots. He's not knocking down shots. He's getting open looks. He's not knocking them down. And I feel like it's wearing on him a little bit. I thought one of the games that jumped out to me big time last road trip was the game when the Kings lost to the Pacers without De'Aaron Fox. Mitchell got the start. Dellavedova was backing up Mitchell. The Kings, from the 5:26 mark of the third quarter for the rest of the game, did not play a traditional point guard. It was Davis back there with Monk, Herter at times, Monk again. Delly and Mitchell did not play the rest of the game. And so I just thought two guys that I expected to be impactful this year off the bench, just because like Mike Brown's grittiness, defense, and Mitchell and Holmes. And both those guys have been disappointments. And I'm not even saying it's because necessarily of them.
There you go.
I am convinced Rashawn Holmes is a good NBA player.
I agree.
I am convinced that he can go somewhere else and be productive. I think he should be productive here.
We've seen it here.
We've seen it here. And I know last year was not good for him at all, but I just watch sometimes. I'm like, they have an issue at 5. Metsu has not been the guy. Lyles doesn't work against all 5s. Play him.
It's with these two, it's truly gonna be situational for them and where they end up in this league. And I say it like that because I don't even see a future with both of them being here with the way that Mike Brown is going about playing them and putting them in that rotation. And I mean, a lack of putting them in that rotation. And it's no knock on Mike Brown. It's no knock on them and their ability to play the game. This is just sometimes how it works around the NBA. And I know you can go look at the whys. Is it the motion offense? Does Davion Mitchell not know how to create off the motion offense? I would say he doesn't seem like he at times has the ability to be that leader and create or be creative off the actions, right? Like, and just make a quick decision without it being what you're being told.
Here's what I don't get. Maybe this is me being naive.
Okay.
And I understand that they have certain things that they want to do offensively in the motion offense. Quick decisions, movement, off-ball movement, all of that. But can you adjust sometimes? Like, hey, all right, we got Sabonis. There's no one on our roster who can duplicate what Sabonis does when we go to the bench.
Yeah.
Maybe it could have been if you got Plumlee a little bit, right? Someone who is more known as a big who could pass.
Sure.
He's not here. So when Rashawn Holmes gets into the game with Davion, we're going to do some more pick and rolls.
That's it. Like, adapt.
We're going to run some different stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the best coaches to me evolve based on the personnel behind him. Like, Greg Popovich had a certain system when he first started with the Spurs, right? They ran a different offense. Well, that 98 team, that San Antonio Spurs team, that won it all lockout year, looked a lot different than the team that we saw go back-to-back final appearances against the Miami Heat, right? San Antonio, their offense was so fun, moving the ball around. Totally different teams. It's based on the personnel you have. And I understand you have a whole system that you want to implement. And I think you could still do those things offensively, which is move the ball, quick decisions, but run it different when those guys are in. Highlight their strengths. Like, Rashawn Holmes was lethal in pick and rolls with that floater. And you're telling me he can't play anymore?
Right.
That's what I don't understand. All right, we can talk more about this stuff coming up. If you guys have thoughts in the chat away at youtube.com/SactownSports1140. Also, hit us up on the phones, 1-800-920-1140. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Yeah, man. Ugh.
Landed in chat says, I've been saying it since last year, but we got to ship out Holmes. He deserves better and can actually have a productive role in another team. Yeah, that's what's so tough. Like, I just don't know how many teams are lining up to trade for his deal right now. And they, probably not offering a ton if they do. But yeah, I think part of it too, if I'm the Kings, it's like, look, he's not playing here. Like, this guy's an NBA player. Like, let's just let him, like, trade him. Who cares why are we trying to maximize value? Like, let's do right by him. It doesn't help him just like rotting here. He wants to play. He can play. It's just not a good fit here.
Yeah, no. And I'm with you. It's like, try and just make that tweak, right?
Yeah.
And even if that tweak isn't for something that you believe that you deserve, or even his worth. And what's crazy about this, I don't think it was a bad deal at the time. You look where the Kings were. This was pre-Sabonis. This was going to be their future big. Like, they didn't have a lot of other choices at hand. And it was early on in Monty's decisions as well. And so I think it was like, well, and especially too, you look at that combo with Tyrese Halliburton at the time. If you thought that that was going to be your future at the time, that 1-2 punch, it was fun. It was a good contract. And then everything happened off the court. And then all the injuries happened. It was just, and then Sabonis straight. It was just bad thing by bad thing for Rashawn Holmes. And now he can't get into the rotation. He's such a good guy. You just really do want to see him excel in this league. Yeah? What are you looking at?
I'm just, Ollie Pops are legit.
What?
They're just really good. I haven't had soda in probably close to 10 years. This doesn't really count as a soda. It's not really, they try to act like it's not. But it satisfies that soda thing in your brain a little bit.
There's a soda thing in your brain?
Yeah, yes. You know what I mean.
Chris, do you know what he means?
The bubbles?
Yes.
I love bubbles. I love them.
You're always blowing bubbles?
Are you being serious right now?
It not like bubbles. Like, hey, I want to go to the store and get get sticky with bubbles or something.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about
carbonated
drinks. Like, I know it sounds bougie.
I like
if
bubbles.
I go somewhere and they have sparkling water, I'm 100% getting sparkling water. So I love sparkling water.
If someone says tap or sparkling, wow, you pay the extra $1.
I mean, also you got to come better with tap. Like tap is such a negative connotation too. You want some tap water?
It has some dirt in it.
Like, make tap sound better. Hey, would you like tap water?
It's
just sparkling.
You haven't heard? It's still water.
Oh yeah, still.
That sounds gross to me too.
Why?
Because it's just
sitting there.
I just think of like this nasty water just sitting outside. Like, you want some still water?
It's been still for a while.
Yeah.
Well, as a server, you're trying to upsell too and make the sparkling water sound better because then you'll also get a bigger tip at the end of the check.
It's wild how like you evolve as people with your taste, but like for me, it's sparkling. Like LaCroix, Kirkland brand sparkling water, Liquid Death, anything with bubbles. And now I'm telling you, this non-alcoholic beer I've been drinking I don't need beer anymore. It's better.
You still drink beer though, right?
Honestly, I have gone back and forth. Like, I had a beer over the weekend and I had a non-alcoholic one. I'm like, I like this better. It doesn't make me feel like crap. It tastes just like it. That company, Athletic, they crush it.
Ugh,
it's unbelievable.
No, I've tried that brand before. It's really good. Yeah, I need to find like a non-alcoholic wine. I used to not drink at all,
Grape
and then
juice?
for the past 3 weeks, I've been drinking what?
Grape juice?
No.
Non-alcoholic wine.
Yeah, I've just been like for some reason at the end of every night when I have a second and I need a beverage, which isn't a good thing. Like, I used to not drink at all, and now I'm like, my soul is
Senior
not
Infermo
okay.
says Athletic Brewing has been popular among runners for a while. Trevor says Athletic is bomb. Agreed. Haven't drank in 4 years, but Heineken 0.0 is fire.
Ooh.
Dude, Athletic, whatever they're doing, it's like they have an IPA that like tastes like an IPA. And you have to go into it with like, it's not 100% going to be like beer, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's the closest I've ever experienced. This is great.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan, Reagan live until 2 p.m. Pacific time. That's when Cal's and Rami take over. They had a great interview earlier this week with Mike Brown. You could check that out at SactownSports.com. We need to pump that up more. I don't think we do that enough.
We do that on this show.
SactownSports.com is a great spot. Frankie Cardicelli is busting out so much Kings content.
Killing it.
And he and Chris Watkins are going to Salt Lake City for NBA All-Star Weekend. They leave Friday. They're going to be on our show tomorrow.
I love that we get them that hour before that they leave to All-Star Weekend. We get to ask them all the hard-hitting questions like, what are they going to eat? Where are they staying?
Is your mom going to be paying attention?
Thank you. That was the other thing. Frankie, is your mom watching?
What's your mom up to this weekend?
Is she going to be with you?
Yeah, is she going?
Like, or
Yeah.
is she going to be here?
Yeah.
Does she
A
need
lot of questions.
company?
A lot of questions. So many questions.
Yes.
What were we talking about before the break? You wanted to go back to something. We've been
Ooh.
talking about biggest disappointments. We've been talking about biggest surprises in the NBA.
We were talking about Davion Mitchell being a disappointment and Rashawn Holmes being a disappointment, and not so much because it's on them, but mostly because of them not getting the opportunity that we believe that they deserve. But at the same time, then if you look at the biggest picture of all of this, it makes you disappointed at the trade deadline that those tweaks, I keep using the word tweaks when I talk about the trade deadline, because that's all it would have been. And, I know they want to keep this group together and everything. And I'm all about that life. I'm all about the patience and the growing and the developing of that. But at the same time, when you make those tweaks before the long enough time before the next season, then you get to see what you really have going into the next season, into training camp.
I would say this too, keep watching the buyout market, because the more I watch this team, when Sabonis goes to the bench and you got Metu in there, who's just not a shot blocking presence. He had a couple of plays yesterday where he just didn't get a rebound. I'm like, I know Nerlens Noel is not like the second coming of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Okay. I'm realistic about it. But if you're not playing Alex Len, if you're not playing Rashawn Holmes, and Metu struggling at the 5, get me Nerlens Noel.
Please.
Give me a guy that will alter a shot. Just in those minutes when Sabonis is not out there, that you could throw in there and go, all right, at least we can protect the rim, hopefully, and have a lob threat.
And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But it's not working out what you have now. So what's the biggest deal, especially if it's a low risk move, right?
Yeah. That's how I look at it. A lot of people in the chat saying Kings for some reason. I'm not sure why. I didn't know did I say Kings? I'm a little confused by this.
Oh, I also had some really important news.
Okay.
It's about the All-Star break.
All right.
So I just saw our guy J.E. Skeets tweet out that Vin Diesel will be announcing the NBA All-Star teams. He'll be introducing the NBA All-Stars on Sunday, February 19th.
Why?
Because it's not a team, it's family.
All right, I've not seen a Fast and the Furious since I was in middle school, and we're going but Super Bowl Sunday, when that Fast and Furious 10 trailer came on, I was like, this is a star-studded cast.
100.
And it has John Wick ridiculousness with this trailer. I'm like, I'm in. I'm in.
I've never seen a Fast and a Furious. I will see that one. There were cars
Time.
flying.
You're telling me peak middle school? That was a huge movie. You did not watch that movie.
I don't remember it.
I gotta say, I got into the Fast and Furious late.
See, yeah, I just don't remember. Maybe I've seen
the first one I saw was 5.
Oh, because I was in love with Paul Walker, so that was probably no, he was in that. Wasn't he in a different Blue Crush or something too, or some surfing movie? Either way.
That sounds about right.
No, Blue Crush was Kate Bosworth, so that wasn't him.
Hold on though.
Yeah, what?
Why is Vin Diesel you're telling me Vin Diesel is gonna be and number 5, De'Aaron Fox? How would he even say that?
From the Sacramento Kings, De'Aaron Fox.
Yes. Okay, you know what's funny?
Is a bonus on your team?
Kings. Sabonis.
Damn.
So we're not a team, we're families. The line.
One of the first comments on this tweet was, "I don't got starters, I got family."
But seriously, why? I think what's going to trip people out is when people realize that Vin Diesel is 5'3".
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because he's gonna wear platforms.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen his breakdancing videos?
Vin Diesel.
No,
I'm just This is so awkward to me. Why is Vin
amazing.
Diesel?
Who cares? Breakdancing. What if he starts breakdancing and then gets up every time? It's like,
I did see they got Ben Affleck to do the intros for the Celebrity Game. I was like, what is that? Or was it Rising Stars? One of those. I was like, how did they get him to do that?
Yeah, he's married to J-Lo. They're rich.
What about that Dunkin' Donuts spot that they did?
Can I be honest?
Super Bowl.
J-Lo.
Can I be honest?
Can I be honest? Segment. Damn. J-Lo. Great acting. Ben. Mediocre.
Yeah,
But doesn't he have an Oscar and she doesn't?
I do think that is it his
for writing.
Is it his movie that he's working on that looks kind of awkward? Where it's
the
like
Jordans,
the Michael Jordan shoe one, where it's like
him and Matt Damon back together.
How two white guys made money off Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
don't miss it in theaters soon.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious about the story of it because, like, it's Michael Jordan's parents in it and everything, whatever. But, yeah, for the most part, no. Sorry, I'm so sorry, dude.
What are you doing?
Oops.
What are you doing?
I just have to look up Vin Diesel breakdancing.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, you could probably wait to do that too. By the way, we have Hunter Patterson from The Athletic joining us at 1:00 to talk some more Kings. Morgan, who's atop your NBA MVP race at this point? I'm going to give you the Vegas odds because we're at the All-Star break. Jokic is the favorite right now to be the 3-time most valuable player. Vegas has Embiid second, Giannis third, Luka fourth, Tatum fifth. And that's the Tatum odds are low to me.
Yeah,
I can't believe he's fifth.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Wait, no Embiid?
Second.
Oh, second.
So you were distracted by Vin Diesel, but Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, Luka, Tatum.
Sorry, I thought for some reason Giannis was second. Obviously, I just skipped over Embiid. But I think that's so weird to say, but I think Jason Tatum should be above Giannis. If it was my predictions. What?
Giannis, the Bucks have won 11 in a row now, man. They're turning it on.
Bucks,
and Giannis has been awesome. Ever since they got a little healthy.
Giannis has been killing it.
Yeah.
But this is such a nitpicking thing when you're looking at the other guys and what they're doing with their doubles and the way that they're leading their teams as well. It's all great, right? You got a lot of MVPs in this league. Giannis's shooting percentages have gone down this year. And I know that's like not again, that's nitpicking, right? Because there's so many other things that he's doing great to be a valuable player.
Just to be clear now, I mean, he's shooting 54% from the field. Last year he shot 55. His career, it's still above his career average of 53. His 3-point number is not great, but
that's gone down.
Not much.
Okay.
It's kind of the same. His last 10 games,
nitpicking.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Last 10. 38 points, 13.5 rebounds, 6 assists on 58% shooting, 32% from three.
Give me Tatum.
You want Tatum's last 10?
I want Tatum's last 10.
No, because Tatum didn't play last night. You know why?
Because he got his face hit, right?
No.
Why?
They want some extra rest before the All-Star break.
Why are you doing it like that? Why you gotta be
Get
like
out
that?
there and play. Tatum's last 10, if you want his last 10.
Yeah.
Just under 28 points a game, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 42% shooting, 35% from three.
Dude, so in those last 10 or whatever for the Bucks, Giannis averaging 38 points
and they won
winning.
11 in a row.
Damn.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
That's
I
something
guess,
we could talk about with Hunter Patterson on the
Okay.
other side too. We'll talk about the MVP race in the National Basketball Association. And we'll talk about the Kings project their last 25 games. How are we feeling about them? We'll talk to Hunter Patterson from The Athletic. That's straight ahead on Deuce and Mo.
Hey guys, how about we do Jason Aldean tickets after Hunter?
Hey, Hunter, you want some Aldean tickets, man? Are you caller 6? I'll be right back. Tinkle. And I gave him the link that you sent Morgan. Okay. You sent Morgan a link this morning, right?
Yes.
Okay. Was that the right link or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're looking at me funny.
I'm just waiting for you to leave.
Nice.
Who let the pee out? Who let the pee out? Who?
Hey, Deuce. You like that? I didn't think of another P song last night because it was just like jumped on night chat.
Oh, come on.
It's really hard to be that creative all the time in every car ride. In the morning, I was in traffic 2.5 hours. My brain doesn't like just go straight to P songs in the morning, you know? What were you going to say?
Just doing that drive up there, then staying there, doing the game, then doing night chat.
Oh, it's not sustainable.
It is not sustainable.
No, did you see when I had That's not sustainable? What a good song. I had a minor anxiety attack on air yesterday. I was like, can I turn off these lights? I'm okay. I don't know why. I don't usually have that happen. Ever since the everyone was locked on lockdown, when I went to my first wedding, I had my first ever panic attack and I didn't know what it was. Geez. Oh my God. And my dress was tight. And so I remember I couldn't breathe and I'm freaking out because I couldn't unzip my dress to breathe or anything. It was the weirdest experience. Therapy's helped. And then being back around large crowds have helped a little bit too.
Yeah.
You know?
You've met Hunter, right?
No. Oh, wait. Maybe. Deuce, you know how I am with names.
Let's see. Just so you know, someone in the chat says they just heard the bathroom song on the AM.
It was just for just.
Okay. Hack says, "Oh, great night chat is going away soon." Who said that?
What? Wait, why would that even be said?
I don't know.
Oh, because we were talking about it. We were just laughing about yesterday, and I'm like, yeah, that's not sustainable. Oh yeah, no. So the night chat will never go anywhere ever. Deuce and Mo.
Yesterday isn't going to be every day.
No. But I mean, podcast life is the life forever and ever. Yeah. We made that mistake years ago. It was the most depressing time of my life.
Hey, coming up, Jason Aldean.
Why can't I find Hunter?
Hunter Patterson's his name on Twitter.
No, I'm having.
It's Hunt Patterson on Twitter. Hunt Patterson _.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you know what you might remember is he knows Ross.
And I was gonna say, okay. I was like, why? I know of,
Cool.
Hell yeah, dude. I don't even.
Hey, YouTube chat, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Can we get to 200 before the end of the show? That would be great.
That would be so fun. That would be so great.
Scooter now, I can't believe you don't know Night Chat. I'm disrespectful. Check it out.
No way, dude.
What's blowing up?
Good old time. It's a good old time.
Raquel Welch died today, huh? Damn. 82 years old. You don't know who Raquel Welch is?
Maybe
she was a very famous actress from a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Mega hottie.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott here, Sactown Sports Headlines. Sacramento Kings came up short to the Phoenix Suns yesterday, 120-109. Fox led the game in scoring with 35 points, but Phoenix had some huge performances with Devin Booker scoring 32. Ayton had 29 points and 11 rebounds, and Chris Paul had a monster double-double with 17 points and 19 assists. Kings are off for the All-Star break. They'll be back in action Thursday, February 23rd, when they host the Portland Trailblazers. Jaguars wide receiver Calvin Ridley applied to the NFL for reinstatement today after he was suspended indefinitely for betting on NFL games while a member of the Atlanta Falcons. Ridley did not play at all during the 2022 season, and today was the first day that he could apply for reinstatement. Now more of Deuce and Mo with our guest, Henner Patterson of The Athletic.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan, Reagan, we are live each and every day, Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. Pacific time here on Sactown Sports. Make sure you're checking out the YouTube feed too, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us today. And let's bring on someone that we have not had on the show yet.
No.
I don't know why we haven't.
I
might blame you for it.
No, this was my idea.
Oh,
This was my idea.
you know what? It was your idea.
Yeah, thank
Damn
you.
it, was your idea. Yeah. Let's bring on a guy that is super talented, and he works over at The Athletic. He's been in Sacramento a lot, checking out the Kings, what they've been doing in Sacramento. Let's welcome to the show for the first time, Hunter Patterson.
That's a hell of an intro. I appreciate you guys.
Of course, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
We are good, man. We appreciate you hanging out with us. We're at the All-Star break, so we're kind of all right, what have we just witnessed the last 57 games, talking about like biggest surprises in the league and talking some Kings. If I would have told you before the season the Kings would be the number 3 seed, they'd have 2 All-Stars, they'd be 7 games above 500. If I told you that before the season, would you have like laughed at me?
Probably. I definitely would have thought that you might have been a bit overzealous in that estimation, but it's great to see. I figured they had a shot at least with the fresh start in Mike Brown to hopefully be in the top half of the Western Conference, but I definitely didn't expect top 3.
How long have you been really keeping track of De'Aaron Fox in his game? Did you think that he was going to take this type of leap this season?
Not this season, I would say. I didn't know when it came or when it would come. But for me, I definitely enjoyed watching him at Kentucky, and I figured with the athleticism that he has and the way the game is played now, he at some point would put it together. But I didn't know it would look like this.
Yeah, it's been wild to see that type of leap.
Yeah.
And it does show you that, like, yeah, you have to find ways to improve on your own for sure, but you do need things around you. And I think sometimes we just look at these guys, if they have talent, they're going to be good. It's like, no, having a coach that instills confidence and accountability helps you. Having talent around you helps you. You need a bit of everything, you know?
Right. And I think with De'Aaron too, you see he's roughly been a 20-point plus guy at least every year in his career. And if not, it's been around like 17, 18, I would say. And for him, it's always been there, but it hasn't necessarily impacted winning the way that it does now. So I think credit Domas, credit all of the pieces around De'Aaron and Mike Brown as well.
Yeah, that's something that we always talk about. We're always like, we want to give credit to him, his maturity. I mean, watching him grow over the years from being 19 years old to now. Right. And then we just talked about it with Mike Brown, setting the standard, this culture. Then you just talked about it. Some of the other guys, Domas Sabonis, obviously having a vet in Harrison Barnes around with some of these better pieces around. It's got to be the roster construction too, right?
Right. I think it has a lot to do with the construction and then the way that the system plays to their strengths. So I think that this is by all means a talented group, but I think the DHOs, the way they have so many guys who can come off pin downs, and now you see even Keegan's able to create when he's like driven off the 3-point line. So I think the system really benefits and kind of like accentuates their strengths.
And Keegan had 6 dimes last night too. He played 20 minutes. I was surprised he only played 20 minutes, but 6 assists last night. So it's good to see him get that going. Like, what have been your impressions of Keegan Murray through this first stretch of the season?
Yeah, I watched him a bit too during March Madness last college basketball season, and I thought at the time he was in college, no doubt, a 3-level scorer, but I didn't know if he'd be able to create off the bounce as well as he's shown throughout the season. So it's been really fun to see his progression. And I remember one of the post game press conferences Mike Brown essentially was saying that Keegan can create his own ceiling. And the more that he shows initiative and a will to score and create, the more leash that Mike is going to allow him to have. So,
Yeah.
the sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, you brought that up too. Mike Brown was on Cal's and Rami, the show after us, and he was just talking about how much he wants Keegan to be more aggressive, not just going at guys, but also just getting yours sometimes. And I think Mike almost holds him accountable with playing time now, where it's like, hey, if you're going to be out there and not be aggressive,
passive,
like you're not going to play.
Right. And I think in that role too, Deuce, you mentioned his minutes last night, and throughout the stretch down the stretch, we were kind of seeing TD get some of those minutes. And I think in the way that TD plays, you can see that they have kind of like the same incentive. Like, okay, if you're open, you shoot, you hit those shots, you stay in the game. And he's kind of capitalizing on things that Keegan could be doing as well.
Yeah, let's talk about the bench for a little bit, and let's talk about the good before we get to some of the bad of the Kings bench. But you talked about Terrence Davis. He's really stepped up with Malik Monk being out. But has Malik Monk's presence this season surprised you, or are these your expectations of what Monk was going to bring?
I think he had this or a similar role, I would say, with the Lakers last season. But again, just the way that the Lakers season went, I think, again, the impact on winning is making it look better, or there's more of like a magnitude to the way that he's playing because the team is winning. And as far as like the impact he's having too, I thought Davion might possibly be able to mature into more of a scorer off the bench, but Malik has kind of alleviated that need.
Yeah, and I feel like that's almost hurt Davion too, because we've been talking about Davion and how like he might have been one of the bigger disappointments. Not necessarily it's all on him. It's just like the fit is weird. You know, at the end of last year, he's got the ball in his hands, especially with Fox out of the lineup. He's making all the decisions. He's being able to attack. But when he's out there with Monk or even with Fox, like those guys have the rock. And I think that's been a tough adjustment for him. And just playing like these short stints where, you know, he played just under 10 minutes last night.
Right. And for me, as a former overthinker on the court, I think it's pretty apparent that he's in his head a bit sometimes. Like he passes up on open shots. And he's extremely quick. There's times he could probably take people off the bounce more than he does. So I think he might just be in his head a bit about what his role is. So
Do you think it's like
that's where you're going here? I thought you were going to go with he balled, dude.
Well, I wanted to get. I was going to kind of tie that in.
I was about to look up his max preps.
Because no, here's my thing though, Hunter. Like even when you were on the floor, was it sometimes not being that selfish player that got stuck in your head?
Yeah, and then there's also too, like if he knows that his run might not last more than 5-6 minutes at a time, he might really shy away from making mistakes, which can kind of like hinder who he really is as a player.
Yeah, I can see that. You can see him almost wearing that on his body language sometimes, because you talked about the way that he's able to take someone off the dribble with that quick first step at times, you know, with that little crossover. His handles have gotten better and better, but he chooses to sometimes be robotic and run through the actions off of this motion offense rather than starting to just think for himself.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see he's essentially out there to play defense and initiate sets on offense. And so I would never want to say you're playing 4-on-5, but you know defensively, if you've read the scouting report, that he's not looking to score too often.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a challenge.
It sure is when you need someone.
I guess going to the last 25 games of the season, like what are your kind of biggest concerns with this group? I guess Davion could be up there. I feel like for me, it's still the backup 5 and maybe even the backup point guard spot.
Yeah, you pretty much hit on both of them. I think last night, probably the most glaring weakness was the fact that there was no one to score when De'Aaron was off the court. So things can kind of get stagnant a little bit, and then that puts more pressure on De'Aaron to play more minutes throughout the season, and you definitely don't want to wear him out before he gets to his first playoff appearance, because he doesn't necessarily know what to expect yet. So I think that might be a concern too. I would hope wear and tear. I honestly have forgot Domas basically has like a broken thumb. So
insane.
Yeah, these guys can like wear and tear outside of the two things that you mentioned in backup point guard, backup center. I think wear and tear would be my biggest thing, because they've been pretty lucky so far with health.
You know, I know whenever we talk about wear and tear with this team too, I'm kind of in this boat of like, hey, get there, show them what the wear and tear will be in that first postseason run in 16 years and ever for some of these guys. Show them, make them feel what it would be like and what type of conditioning that they need to be in. Now, it's not only on them to be in that type of conditioning, it's obviously on your coaches and time management and understanding where you need to be playing night in and night out. But I think that goes to too, when you look at the trade deadline and these tweaks weren't made, if you're not going to be playing or trusting Davion Mitchell and Rashawn Holmes as backups, then why didn't the Kings make the necessary tweaks at the trade deadline?
I guess they felt that well, I think they definitely think they haven't hit their ceiling yet, so they want to kind of let the guys mesh and continue to kind of like find that multiple cohesive units to put out there. Me personally, I definitely would have been more active during or before the trade deadline, but yeah, I mean, you kind of wish they did have more. I personally kind of wish they had another person who could create on their own, because there's only a handful of people.
What would you have done at or before the trade deadline? Like in your
if he was the GM.
GM, Hunter,
he's gotta
the
make
GM.
calls.
Yeah.
Throwing my GM hat right now. It's one of the people I really liked was Jared Vanderbilt, because he's really young. He's not super offensively gifted, but he can defend almost like 1 through 5. And he can't, I mean, I think also too, I was watching, he got moved around a bunch, but he was with Utah previously, right?
Yeah, Utah, Minnesota. Yeah.
Right. So, and like he offensively cuts really well. And I was kind of like pairing him up with Domas in my mind and thinking about like all the cuts and DHOs and things. But he was the main person I would have liked.
Yeah. I think we were kind of in that same boat of like, you know, you didn't need a big name. You needed a long.
That's why I still go with like the buyout market a little bit. I was just bringing up Nerlens Noel. I'm not acting like he's some crazy, stopper. But at the same time, like, look, you're not playing Rashawn.
Yep.
It's clear he's not.
Which to me, that's like he had a really good stretch, and I was kind of expecting to see more from him.
Yeah.
That I don't get it, because I mean, go back to that Lakers game, that road game where Sabonis is out. The guy had 16 and 10. They won. He wins defensive player of the game. And I remember that night I was doing TV with Morgan. I'm like, Morgan, like he's going to get more minutes now. Like you reward that. You've been searching at the backup 5. Then Sabonis gets back and it's like, oh, he's not really playing. You're like, oh, like, and I think that crushes a guy's confidence. I think that, and I understand, like, I give credit to like TD and some of these guys for being ready when their name's called. But at the same time, like, hey, coach, you asked me to come in and step up. Not only did I step up, I gave you a double-double. We won the game. I was impactful in the game. And now I can't get in the rotation?
Yeah. And I don't know, because Morgan initially had brought it up, and I was thinking like, damn, it would be good to see more minutes for Rashawn. But even like shouts out to Keon. No, like obviously no slight to him. But if there's people who can, like, you can find minutes for them, even like, who knows, maybe Alex Len could be hot one game and you could throw him in there. So
totally.
There's, I think, very capable people on the bench who just may not have had their opportunity.
I agree. And
Hunter, like last night though, even, right? Sorry, really quick, because you just brought up Alex Len. It's like you're going up against DeAndre Ayton, and then you're just going with Chimeze Metu.
Well, and they activated Keita for that game. Like he was he was with the team. So you Aiden crushed you last night, right? And when Sabonis went to the bench, you go to Metu instead. And it's like, look, the three guys who did not play last night were all your bigs: Holmes, Len, and Kata.
And that was where you probably needed the most help. So I don't know. I've definitely watched games and noticed things where bigs are on the opposing teams are grabbing a bunch of boards, like offensive rebounds are issues, and I'm very curious about why certain people aren't getting a chance.
Yeah.
Frustrating at times.
It's weird. Yeah, it's just more interesting. Like I'm curious as to why.
And Hunter, then I'll ask you this then. When you look at Mike Brown as a coach, we can talk about all the great things he's done. But when you look at his rotations, are you just as confused as anyone else? Or do you feel like there are just so many coaches around the league that have their ways? Or if there were other pieces and tweaks that were made at the trade deadline, that he would actually be testing them out in the rotation?
Yeah, I think he's said it a lot, but I think he really is, like, especially earlier on in the season, I think that we talked about second half of the season, we may not see sporadic lineups the way we did in the first half, just because I think he was genuinely searching for some things, possibly knowing ahead of time too that there wouldn't be anything coming at the trade deadline. So I think he's really trying to be creative and throw a bunch of different things out there. But there are some times where I'm like, I probably wouldn't have went with that 5 but I mean, he's successful for a reason too. So
yeah, I think every NBA market criticizes a coach's rotations. It just it doesn't matter. Yeah. Like, oh, why don't you go with this guy instead? I mean, it happens all the time. Before I let you go, I have a question. Do you think where the Kings are at right now, number 3 spot, do you think they're in the top 6 when we get to the end of the regular season?
Yeah, I actually, friend of mine, he and I are having like a debate about that. He's living in Sac also, and he doesn't necessarily think with all of the moves that have been made recently that they'll be able to maintain this standing. And I am one of the people who think that they haven't really hit their ceiling yet. So I think that they'll continue to progress.
Why don't you think they've hit their ceiling?
Because I really think it all depends on Keegan. Like, we've seen Domas literally can't do anything else. He had like 24, 15, 7. De'Aaron, they're both all-stars. And I think there is really another level offensively, and like on both sides of the ball, that Keegan can reach and maintain that he hasn't hit yet. So Keegan, by far, to me, is the biggest wild card.
Yeah. And we talk about where Sacramento can take that next jump, whether it's later this year in the last 25 games or next year. It's internal. And if Keegan can take that jump, he looks, he's from about a 6'8" guy who can shoot it. He's shooting at an elite level.
Yeah.
This is not like, he's shooting well for a rookie. It's like, no, he's 41%, just under 42%, taking significant attempts. It's not like on 2 attempts a game. Right. And if anything, he could be more aggressive.
Wait, Hunter, do you think he can take that jump? And what is it going to take? Like, is it a mental thing? Is it a physical thing? Does he just need to be coached differently? Like, what is it for him to take that jump?
I think it's really just on him. And he is still very young. Like, he spent a few years in school, but I know he's still in his early 20s.
Yeah.
So that may not come this season. And I personally may be putting a little too much pressure on him for this season. But we've seen those flashes where, and I'm not saying he has to have like 20 or 30 every game, but at least he's very capable of impacting the game really strongly in at least one category.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, Hunter, I appreciate you hopping on with us for a bit, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you all having me. I've been watching the show, and I keep up with you all when you're on NBC Sports and everything. So keep doing your thing.
Hey, you too, man. I appreciate you. I mean, we were a little offended. Apparently, you're in a group chat.
Oh, yeah.
With Frankie Cardicelli, Chris Watkins,
yeah.
and Cameron's, and like, yeah.
Yeah. So we were just like, we weren't invited, but then what we told them anyway, that we didn't want to be invited anyway.
No. We wanted to be invited, but we don't want to be in it.
No, we wanted to deny them too.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we're denying you.
I didn't create it. I was just added. Just kind of
Classic deflection.
Mhm.
Great deflection.
Yeah.
I didn't. It's not
Gotta
my
do
party. I can't.
You
send
don't
out the
sound like a
invite.
nice guy, Hunter, so I don't know.
all right. Well, Hunter, dude, seriously, thanks so much. We'll do it again, man.
Of course, I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Hunter Patterson works for the Athletic, young up and comer.
Yeah.
And he's really talented.
Good for him, dude.
I like him a lot.
I know. And I mean, there's so much talent at the Athletic, and that is why I pushed that this week to have another athletic guest.
Yeah.
And I think the Athletic is much like our show here. It's not like this. It's a conversation, letting you know everything.
Like chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, when I think chill, I think Deuce Mason.
Hey, we are live. Hey, it's Hunter Patterson.
So chill.
That's
chill.
so funny.
Yeah.
So funny. Yeah, was my intro for Hunter a little over the top?
No, never. Dude, if anyone was introing me like that, I don't think they're weird until they ask me a weird question.
The question is, will I end up doing that for like a, De'Aaron Fox? I would do it for Fox. I think with Sabonis, I was a little gun shy.
No, and I'm glad you did it for Sabonis as well. But yeah, no, the only I've had that like when I was a guest on a podcast, and then it was great. But then I realized like, oh, you guys are just kind of weird, because then they asked me about like my dating life and like and again I was like, oh, is it because I'm a woman in sport? This is what we asked. Like, what are we doing? So that's when you got to make sure that you're not a weirdo in all your other questions, and then you can make sure to be
that was going to be
energetic.
Also, shout out to the YouTube chat. Hunter getting some love.
Oh,
I love it. It's not like all producers. They're like, hey, Shay goes, thanks, Hunter. Hey, Minnie Lamb says, peace, Hunter. Peace out. Awesomeness, Hunter. Great insights. Thank you, Hunter. From Melissa. Hunter getting rave reviews.
Dude. Love it.
Yeah.
Kimberly. Awesome.
Well, we've got more to get to on the show, but Morgan, do you understand what is happening soon?
Oh, yeah, I do understand.
The Highway Desperado Tour is September 21st, baby. And guess what? Deuce and Mo, believe it or not,
believe it,
we have teamed up with Live Nation to give you a chance to win a pair. That's two. A pair of tickets to see Jason Aldean on his Highway Desperado Tour at Toyota Amphitheater on September 21st. Get all the information on the contest at sactownsports.com, and you can read Frankie Cardicelli there. But if you're caller 6, let's do 6. Yeah. Caller 6 right now at 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You will win a pair of tickets to see Jason Aldean. So get on the move, you animals. We got more of the show coming up on Sactown Sports.
When you said highway, the highway tour.
Highway Desperado.
You want to know a fun, weird fact that I actually remember?
What?
When I was in probably the 5th or 6th grade, I made up a country-like song on the trampoline, and I will never forget like the first line or like the beat of what I wanted to go. It was, I've been working on the highway, dreaming on my way, yo, 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 yo. I wonder if my parents actually like remember. I would go around the house singing it. I've been working on the highway, dreaming on my way, yo, 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 yo. Pretty catchy, right?
Banger.
There's something there. There's some slight tweaks.
Dude, I was a little songwriter on my trampoline. That's all I had, though.
I'm working on the highway. Was there?
Dreaming on my way. Yo,
Dreaming on what?
Dreaming of my way.
Dreaming of my way. What are you doing on the highway? What's your job?
It was just Caltrans. I've been working.
You're Caltrans on the highway.
I've been working on the highway, dreaming on my way. Yo, 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 yo.
What's after the yo, 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 yo,
It shows you anyone can sing a country song. I honestly don't remember. I remember writing lyrics like in my diary, but I just I probably made it a love song. I was so in love with love when I was little. What a cutie. Ugh, I was so tough.
The yo 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 part, like has to stay in there.
Yeah, why? Yo 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 yo.
Ooh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that with the 3-point shootout about Keegan, because I think he had plans to go see his brother at his game. So maybe that's why he doesn't want to be in it. The 3-point shootout. Dude, I'm all about that. He
take a
That's one thing that we haven't talked enough about with him.
What?
He was with his twin brother all the time. Like they did everything together.
Twins.
Best friends, they're twins, a twin thing.
Yeah.
Twin magic, like the Bella twins,
You can look, but you can't touch.
So anyway, Keegan, they played ball together growing up. They played college ball. They lived together, and now they haven't seen each other forever.
Inside scoop.
Yeah.
Chris he started dating someone first. So when he started dating someone was the first like moments that Keegan started realizing like, oh, he's not going to be here for all the Christmases. He's not going to be here, like all the time in every waking moment. So that was the only time that they first started being apart.
Yeah, it was tough at first, but like I'm happy for him. I'm going to go see him this weekend.
Chris?
I don't think he's going to have a good Rising Stars game because I think it's going to be Chris Murray in there.
So just so you know, the other day,
I really have to tinkle.
He had a college game. Chris Murray had a college game.
It's tinkle time.
So they had Chris Murray had a game the other night, and the Kings had people there. He's projected right now to be in the 20s.
In the 20s?
And the Kings are probably going to.
Okay. All right.
I'm so about getting Chris Murray on this team.
Absolutely.
You need size at that spot. They're kind of the same. Like their games. I mean, obviously,
you're telling me
physically.
that the Kings could have another Keegan Murray on the team?
Please, Keegan and Chris Murray, please give me the twins.
That's like, you always hear that, oh man, if my team was just, when Isaiah Thomas was like, oh man, if the team was just entirely Isaiah Thomas, how great would they be?
And maybe he's able to bring something out of Keegan,
Yeah.
Because he feels like he's like, I was gonna say every twin it's not a movie. I'm like the evil twin, right? You've got like the twin that Chris has a little more
he's got like a
he's a jokester. Yeah. He's got a go-to. I have to sneeze.
Oh. Bless you.
Excuse me. I love that this is a topic today on NBA Today. It's like, man, it's All-Star break. What do we got here? Hey, is LeBron James the greatest player ever? Like, is that the ultimate, like, the producer must be on vacation. So, like, the interns are like, I gotta go? Question mark?
I really feel like this is a good angle we can go with today that nobody's done before.
So when you went to Tinkle,
what happened?
Chris Murray had a game the other night. I saw on Twitter the Kings had people there watching.
No.
And he's projected right now. I think the latest mock draft I saw had him at like 23. Kings are going to be in that mix if they keep this pace.
Dude, take him in every way, shape, and form. You take him.
And they have similar games, man.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, similar games. You look at the twin brothers around the league. Like,
best twin brothers in the league.
Lopez's was
best twin brothers in NBA history.
Okay. In history.
I mean, you got the Morris twins up there.
Right.
Everyone says the Van Arsdales, but we didn't watch them, so we can't. The Tom and Dick.
That's just such an old name. Hey, my name's Dick Vanzale. That's
Van Arsdale.
Pleasure to meet you. Can I?
Yeah.
What do I need to do to get you this washing machine today? It washes all your dishes without even having to get your dress wet.
You'll never have to use your hands again, you dame.
They had a combined total of 6 All-Star selections in 12 seasons. That's pretty good twins, yeah.
Wow.
They're not twins.
Oh, we're not going,
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings came up short to the Phoenix Suns yesterday, 120-109. Bucks led the game in scoring with 35 points, but Phoenix had some huge performances, with Devin Booker scoring 32. Ayton had 29 points and 11 rebounds, and Chris Paul had a monster double-double with 17 points and 19 assists. The Kings are off for the All-Star break. They will be back in action Thursday, February 23rd, when they host the Portland Trail Blazers. Jaguars wide receiver Calvin Ridley applied to the NFL for reinstatement today after he was suspended indefinitely for betting on NFL games while a member of the Atlanta Falcons. Ridley did not play at all during the 2022 season, and today was the first day he could apply for reinstatement. It is 1:30. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. Now more of Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan, Reagan. Appreciate you being here. We have another show tomorrow. Then we're off Friday. Heads up, off Friday and Monday this week. But I think you have some people filling in. I think I heard one of the days Scott Marsh and Jay Mars will be in the building hanging out. So you'll have some live and local content.
Taking care of you.
It's our all-star, as all-stars, we need some time off.
That's not, no.
It just
literally worked
just
out.
Friday and Monday. Yeah, we need those days off. So I appreciate you guys being here, but Thursday's going to be a big show too. In the 1 o'clock hour, we'll have another Kings Roundtable this week with Chris and Frankie before they depart. They're going to Salt Lake City for NBA All-Star Weekend. So yes, we will have full coverage of the NBA All-Star Weekend over at SactownSports.com. Frankie and Chris will be there, and they'll be crushing it.
I am so excited to talk to them tomorrow about what they're going to do in their free time, or if they're going to have free time.
Can I be honest? There's zero free time.
Yeah.
You've got Friday, the Rising Stars game. Saturday's All-Star Saturday night. You're going to go. There's 3-point shootout that Kevin Herter's in. Then you got the game, and then you fly home. There's no time.
I would appreciate it, though, if they made a behind-the-scenes TikTok of their journey. Okay. I honestly would.
Well, you should talk to them about it.
I hope.
Are you hoping they're listening and going, I've been waiting for Morgan to give me some instructions. Okay, let's go.
Your instructions are create that TikTok or you're fired.
Morgan,
own it, honey. Yes,
we're going to play a game called Let's Try Not to Tear Up.
Oh, I don't like this game.
So the Kelsey brothers, of course, they went head-to-head in the Super Bowl, right, Jason?
Yeah.
They did their latest podcast.
Okay.
And Jason Kelsey, who was seen crying on the field after the game.
Yeah.
Because he lost.
What a loser.
Here's Jason Kelsey talking about crying after the game on their podcast.
The moment I saw Mom is when I got really emotional because, man, it was so awesome. It was
all right now.
Yeah. Oh man. It was awesome for, she was on top of the world for a week.
She was the heavyweight champ, man. She was on top of it, and she shined the whole time, man. That was the coolest part. Mom, you absolutely killed it. Dad, you've been killing it.
Yep. It was just so cool, man, to see, her get to celebrate in that with us.
Yeah, I'm with you, brother.
It was an awesome moment. Just so happy for her and so happy that, she got her moment. Dad got his. So, yeah, I was the only, ironically, you lose the Super Bowl and you're crying after the game, and they're not tears of sadness. They're tears of joy.
Morgan's literally tearing up.
You are too.
No, I'm not.
Are your eyes glossy?
No, I mean, I would not hold back. I don't care. I'll cry. No problem. But I watched that this morning and then seeing it too. Like, there's just something too about, I know. Hey, guess what? If you're a guy, it's okay to cry. It's not a big deal. But there is still something that gets me when you see like this big NFL guy, this big beard just bawling. You're just like, oh man, I just want to hug you.
Yeah, dude.
You okay? But think about the emotions, because we all assume things. Like, he was just so happy that his mom, who means so much to him, got to be with her split jersey at the Super Bowl and see one of her sons win and to be a part of that. How cool.
Dude, and even for the other son, I mean, whether we, Chris and I joke around and call him a loser, I mean, you're making it to the top of the top.
Yeah.
I mean, in the best league, in the best football league in the world, you are right there. You didn't win it. your brother did, but at the same time, you're winning because your family's there supporting you, loving you to the fullest. It's no, it's super special. Moms are so great.
Are they?
I would say yes.
I would say honestly, anyone that's fortunate enough to have a great mom in their mother figure, whoever you maybe identify as a mom in your life, like it's special. It's cool.
They like babysit? Like, what do they do?
What do you mean?
What do moms? I'm just not totally familiar with. Are they?
Hey, your mom.
I'm kidding.
Your
my
mom put a roof. She worked at Del Taco and put a roof over your head.
Me.
She mentally wasn't there for you, emotionally wasn't there for you, and physically probably wasn't there for you.
No, she was physically there for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
but like, I mean, at the end, and you don't have to give. Here's the one thing I think people do with parents. Sometimes people are like, yeah, I raised you. I put a roof over your head. And it's like, oh yeah, no, if you want to be a parent, you actually have to be ready to do so much more. It's part of your job to teach, to develop, to be there emotionally, mentally on so many different levels. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, if you see this new day and age in 2023, yeah, you're not just a parent until they're 18. Like, you're a parent for the rest of their damn lives. The support is what you chose to do when you're choosing to have children.
Thomas in the chat says, I haven't seen my mom since I last played hide and seek with her.
Oh God. Well, that happens too.
Hopefully they started today.
Oh, and shout out to all the awesome parents out there. Appreciate you guys being here. Oh man. Another thing I found today.
Yeah.
Shams Charania giving the Kings some love today.
Okay, Shams.
Charania. Why do you call him Charanio?
Shams Charanio.
Did I just call him Charanio?
Charanio Hall.
Wait, Shams Charanio?
No, Charania.
Charania.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Here's Shams on his show and talking about the Kings.
16-year drought. I think Kings fans like Eddie G are going to take a playoff berth at the very least. But I think
get in there.
When you look at this team, they've got a lot of assets moving forward as well. There was a sense even leading up to the deadline, how active will the Kings be? They have Harrison Barnes on an expiring contract. I'm sure they're going to look to bring him back in the summer just in terms of how important he's been to their culture and the fabric of what they're building. But we should continue to look at the Kings as a team that's, like Chandler said, they don't have the firepower maybe right now, but they have the ability, Monty McNair, Wes Wilcox, they have the assets there to go get real significant talent in the offseason and moving forward. So maybe not yet, but this team is definitely building and I'm sure making Kings fans proud.
Correct, Shams. Correct.
Thank you, Shams. Give us some Kings love.
He's like, hashtag Sacramento proud.
I did meet him at the G League showcase.
You did.
And he was really pushing about coming out to Sacramento and doing a story on the Kings.
Yeah. I mean, and someone introduced you as a multimedia superstar to him, correct?
What? That's how I introduced myself. Why are you mentioning that? All right.
Sports entertainer.
You're damn right. Coming up next, it's Wednesdays with Romney.
Oh,
yes, Romney's in the building. We do that next. Coming up on Sactown Sports. Hello. But hey.
I'm going to just do that just to get it going.
Okay.
It'll be quick and I'll say, yeah, we can meet again here.
Okay. I was talking about Felix earlier with you. Remember Felix, who's he's been hard on De'Aaron Fox for like.
Is he here?
He's in this chat.
Is he
okay.
here?
And someone had mentioned Fox or something about the CP3s. Oh, Pictures in Motion says, I want to see Fox get 19 assists like CP3. Felix says, is Fox capable of possibly having 19 assists like Chris Paul? Felix, you're moving the goalposts all the time. Are we serious?
I love it.
You wanted him to be an all-star. You wanted him to do
Felix
this.
is
He's
a
on a
troll.
winning team and he's an all-star. Now you're like, yeah, but can he be like one of the greatest point guards in history and get 19 assists a game? Okay. Also, yeah, we are 4 thumbs up from 200 thumbs up. Let's get there. We are 4 away. Does Morgan have to sing to get there? It's possible.
Oh, don't make me sing.
Send your email.
Sorry. Okay. All right. Cool.
We got there. We don't need your stupid song. 201 thumbs up.
I'm so ready to sing.
If we get 300 a day, you can sing it.
Yeah. In 10 minutes. 19 minutes.
You need to get 19 assists. That'll prove it. I'm Felix. I need proof.
You just brought him up to me too. You were just talking about how
I
you're
said,
like,
where are all these loud, obnoxious Fox haters? I told him, keep that same energy. Keep talking.
it is strange though, like when someone is doing well. I'm just confused. It's like from the human standpoint. Why wouldn't you celebrate someone doing well
Because
when
if he was good, then that would mean that he's wrong.
Yes, people don't like being wrong.
Why
and guess
is that
what?
hard
you
for
know what?
people?
I'm happy to be wrong on
Me
things
too.
like this. Like I've been wrong so much. I was wrong about the Suns this year.
I was wrong about the Kings this season and where they were going to get their
What
wins.
else was I wrong about this year?
I was wrong about the Clippers.
Yeah, we'll find out if you're wrong about the Clippers.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I was like confident about their squad and their ability to win.
Deuce seems like that cool dude back in the 2000s that you just have to hang out with. Deuce is too cool. I don't like that. That's
Wait,
a shot at me.
Who were the people that you had to hang out with in the 2000s?
I don't know why the 2000s thing got brought up. Like what? I don't like that. You're making me sound way too old.
Yeah, I don't. What's great about Deuce?
Was there groups that just like you could just jump onto? In the
You know,
2000s?
that was my biggest weakness in high school, though. Is like, yeah, I just
What? I loved everyone.
Yeah, and that's I wish I did love everyone in high
You
school.
didn't?
I just want to be a part of the cool group. You know,
Oh,
I was trying to fit
man.
in with the cool kids instead of just being around with everyone. I like it nowadays. I love hanging out with.
I was a media nerd. I was a jock. I was a musical
No.
theater junkie.
Oh, I looked at those people. Went,
And I was homecoming queen, which I don't know if that makes it cool. I think that's so weird. I think that's just a
Okay.
popularity.
That's a
Was it
brag.
one of those like joke homecoming
is-
queen?
You were
votes?
trying to you were trying to appeal to everyone. I was trying to get into a certain group, a clique, a gang, maybe.
See,
I
went to tiny school. I mean, like that was the.
yeah, yours
I have
was not
no
a-
like knowledge.
How
of
many
that.
people were at your school?
When I graduated, 140.
Yeah, that's a daycare.
Oh my
That's a daycare. That's you didn't go
God.
to school. That was a daycare.
How many teachers were there? Like 2?
2.
8.
8. That's
So
not a
you had a
school.
class of like 10?
You got 0 education. 0.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan, Reagan. Appreciate you guys being with us. Coming up at 2. You got Cattles and Rami. Rami's in the building too.
Yeah, it's Rummy Wednesdays.
Rami.
You're fine, by the way.
What was?
No.
Yeah, no, you're good. Take your time, man. We're just hanging out. We're just gonna turn your mic on too.
Yeah.
What was Rami like in high school, you think?
Ooh.
Morgan tried to appeal to everyone. I was
Yeah.
trying to fit in with the cool kids, but I definitely didn't belong. Like she was like
I had a class of 25.
Yeah.
he
A
went
class
to,
of 25?
yeah.
What?
That's a daycare. He was not getting an education at all.
Can I guess what Rami was?
Oh, okay.
Sure.
The funny guy.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Class clown.
Class clown. Yeah.
I was the class clown
Oh, there
for
we
sure.
go.
Yeah. Yeah. My teachers, but my teachers, like, I wasn't like a class clown that the teachers hated. Like, they got it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they would be chuckling while they kicked me out of class.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna
Like
say,
that,
did
you
you
know-
get in trouble a lot?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I got in plenty of trouble. I didn't get good grades till I had to. Like,
Okay.
they were like, "You're not going to graduate." I was like, "Oh,
C's get degrees.
You were more than capable. You just were like, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. When I tried, I was fine. I just didn't try a lot of the time. But
Yeah.
I was a class clown for sure.
Okay.
I was the chubby guy.
Okay.
I was the chubby guy in the group.
Chubby
Did
funny
you play?
guy.
Did you play off the chubbiness?
Yeah.
With jokes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was self-deprecating because that was the best way to like
That's-
not let people, No,
but I mean, is it most
it's the best defense.
Most comedians, there's darkness. There's
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
right? There's darkness
for sure.
involved, right?
Yeah.
That's part of it.
But if I've already made the joke about myself, you can't make it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, that's my material.
Who's laughing now?
that you just used. So, yeah.
With that, like, who are your like favorite comedians of all time? Do you have like inspirations, or do you have like comedians that you just
Eddie Murphy was like the first. He was the
Yeah,
first, and Johnny Carson. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm older than both of you.
Yeah, I know Johnny Carson.
That's
What am I?
wild stuff.
What am I, 10?
Yeah, it's like saying like Frank Sinatra. Like, you know who Johnny Carson is.
Damn.
So those were like the earliest influences.
Okay.
Later Seinfeld, Chappelle, obviously.
Yeah.
I love Bill Burr now. He's probably my favorite
Okay.
going right now. That's just a few.
Wow.
I mean, there are so many.
He didn't say George Carlin.
Tracy Morgan.
Wow.
Where's George
I
Carlin?
was never a huge like I under
Wow.
look. Oh no, here's the thing.
It's okay.
I understand the impact of a George Carlin.
Yeah.
I understand the brilliance of a George Carlin, and the mastery of his writing. Like, it is incredible.
Yeah.
He just wasn't like he wasn't the funniest
I
to
see.
me.
Okay,
like
okay.
laughs per minute.
Which is
There were a lot funnier guys for me, for my personal preference. That doesn't mean anything at all in terms of his place in the history of comedy.
comedy is an art form and it can be
Oh, I know.
subjective.
I know.
Deuce.
I'm just having fun. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad.
But I think like his just his brilliance is
Yeah.
undeniable.
Totally.
Like, even if he's not my style, his brilliance is undeniable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ugh.
So, but that's just, it's a matter, like Mo was saying, it's a matter of preference and taste.
Have you been to? I don't know if you have you been to the Comedy Store in LA?
I have not. No, I want to
gotta
go.
You gotta make that trip, dude.
I have a few friends out there, and I do want to make that trip. Yes.
We went a couple of years back, and it was crazy the amount of talent, and there's so much history in there.
I was gonna say, I'd
I'd
imagine it's one of those places where you feel it when you feel the history when you walk in the place. Like,
Yeah.
it just has an aura to it, a mystique to it that you just immediately feel when you walk in the room.
And then you don't know who's coming up to the stage, and then you just have like Anthony Jeselnik and Whitney Cummings and Bobby Lee, and you're just like,
Lee, I love
this is amazing. Like, I wasn't even expecting it to be amazing, but yeah, it was.
That's the coolest thing about that place, from what I understand. And same thing with the Comedy Cellar in New York. Like, you just don't know at any point. Like, somebody could be recording their special there on a given night, and you just have no idea that you're part of a live taping of a special, or just some amazing comedian dropping in and trying some new material. Yeah, I need to get over there.
Chris Farley's birthday today. He would have been.
Oh.
Was it? What have you been? 59 today?
Were you a huge?
Yes.
60 to.
Yeah, you guys were asking about stand-ups, but he was probably like the guy for me.
Whoa,
like, yeah,
she loved him too.
Oh,
You know what's funny though? I was so young, and so for me, it was like really daring that I would go to school and say, "I love Chris Farley," and people were like, "What? Do you do drugs too?" You know? Like, no, he would like, I mean, him, and obviously for me, like SNL skits and Tommy
Yeah.
Boy was like around that time when I was just like, I am obsessed. But
Probably the first time I like performed comedy. My brother's like 4 years older than me, so I was probably like 12, probably still in middle school, and they were in high school, and they were doing things that people do in high school in their parents' basement that they probably shouldn't be doing, you know. And I'd stand on my brother's bed and do Matt Foley, motivational speaker, like do the whole sketch word for word. And so that was probably like my first taste of like performing and people laughing and me being like, yeah, I kind of like it. I like the attention. I like the attention.
like learning.
I want more of that.
I like learning
Give me
the
some of that
background.
sweet attention.
Don't you love hearing more about
I
his
do.
like, life?
How many times did you sing "Fat Guy in a Little Coat"?
Oh, fat guy in a little coat. I still sing it
Yeah.
to this day. To this day, I need just give me a little coat, and I'll do it for you right now.
I know you're about to talk sports for the next 4 hours, so
Yes.
I guess we can't ask you a sports-related question.
Sure.
Kings at the All-Star break. I would have told you before the season, 7 games above 500, 2 All-Stars. You feel pretty good, but
No,
how
this
are you
is-
feeling about where they're at as we are at
This is
the All-Star
beyond
break?
anybody's.
Okay.
Like, even though they lost yesterday, and by the way, they lost yesterday, and I maybe underestimated how scary the Suns are
think
gonna
we all
be
feel that
when they
way.
put the whole. Like, I saw it last night, and I was like, oh yeah, they're that good, and they're adding Kevin Durant.
I think a lot of people, I think we get now a little, we don't want to get trigger happy when it comes to the big three or these big names, put them together and it always works. We're always like, no, we've seen it not work now. So
Yeah.
is it going to work? But then seeing last night what they're doing without him, It's going to be insane.
That was a little bit scary, but even with that, like I think I can step back and take the 30,000 foot view and say this has been a really, really amazing ride for the Kings to the All-Star break. And I don't think that there are like dark days ahead, like gloom and doom for this Kings team because they didn't make a move at the trade deadline. There's still the buyout market to come. And I just think they're a really good basketball team. And I think that they can hang around the top half of the Western Conference. I think they can maybe sniff around Memphis if things go right. I'm not going to rule that out. I feel really good about this Kings team, despite the loss last night, despite, sort of a lackluster trade deadline.
Yeah.
I feel good about this basketball team. It's beyond anybody's expectations, obviously, at this point.
I enjoyed your guys' conversation with Mike Brown the other day. And
so cool.
You know what I appreciate? Just how like real he is.
Yeah.
Like even when you guys were asking about the defense, he goes, yeah, we're not good. And here's what we have to do. And even Keegan, I mean, he was very truthful about Keegan. Like it's about being aggressive, but get yours sometime. I just thought that was very interesting.
He wants Keegan to like be disrespectful.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. He's like, go out there and disrespect some people. Like you can do it. Go and dunk in somebody's face. Go and swat somebody's shot into the fourth row. You have the ability to do it.
And probably coming from someone like Mike Brown, he can, someone he respects, he can probably be like, okay, I need to be coachable and understand this and soak this in.
Yeah, and like you were saying, Deuce, like he's always himself, which is something I always appreciate about people, and I think that's probably why he's been such a successful head coach. I think that translates to people wanting to follow you. You know what I mean? When they're like, there's no BS here. Like he what he's telling me is what he's telling me, and I can take it at face value. I respond to that.
Yeah.
From people who are supposed to be leading me and running
that?
the show.
Brian, what do you guys have coming up today?
Lots of Kings talk.
Yeah.
Obviously, right out of the gates, we're going to talk about how we felt about last night's game. We'll recap the first half, how we feel about that throughout the show, and that Suns team. And talk about that and lots of other silliness. You never know what we're going to get into on Cattles and Ramen.
Yeah, enjoy the ride. 2:00. It's coming up next. You can watch it youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140, Sactown Sports app, 1140 a.m. It's literally everywhere.
Everywhere.
We'll be back tomorrow at 11. Stay tuned for Cattles and Rami. We love you guys, but we got to go.
See ya.